Good morning, everyone. This is a very sleepy Lala Twiddle, aka Alice, greeting everyone. Today we're going to be playing a quick one-shot of Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition, GM by my co-host, Brandon Powers.
Howdy, howdy.
Yep, he's sleepy too, apparently. And with us today we have our good friend Jacob Blackman, aka Prodigy Duck, for those of you who love his art. And Jacob, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jacob Blackman, also known as Prodigy Duck on DeviantArt. I have a Patreon as well, and today, but other than that, I would like to help promote the Kickstarter campaign for Zombie Orpheus Entertainment's Journey Quest Season 4. They've been trying to get the funding done for that, but like a lot of their other Kickstarters, they're not sure if they're going to make it. They've only got 1 week left, and we're hoping for another one of those miracle endings like we've had for the last several Kickstarters. So if you like Journey Quest, if you like fantasy and independent films, please go and support the Journey Quest Season 4 Kickstarter.
Thanks, Jacob. And we also have Robert Rosenberg with us this morning.
It's Eisenberg.
Eisenberg. I apologize. Robert Eisenberg.
It's all right. Been playing mostly Champions for the past 30 years. I've played Mutants and Masterminds a couple of times.
Cool. We're happy to have you. We love Champions as well, so we love Hero System. And we also have Kevin. I don't remember your last name on the way that you wanted introduced. I apologize.
It's fine. Kevin, usually go by Psycho on these. Yeah, my last name's a pain in the butt for most.
Sure.
First time on our podcast, so looking forward to having.
Well, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I just want to do a quick plug for our BAMF family, BAMF podcast. Please go check it out at mikelaugh.podbean.com, or you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on Discord for BAMF Podcast, which is discord.me/BAMF Podcast. And again, BWK's Discord is discord.me/BWK. Brandon, take us away.
All right, well, I didn't have a set world or anything for the one-shot. I asked Alice and Jacob to figure out where we are going to play, and Alice said, well, why don't you mangle my world? My setting, and so I happily obliged her to take what little I do know about her setting and go ahead and destroy it as heavily as possible. It is, Alice can give us a brief rundown, I'm certain, a very brief thing about the setting, but the environment that we're going to be playing on is she realized that this is the 3rd anniversary of a major attack at the UN. In her world, and so we're going to be using that as somewhat of a inspiration for where I am starting our adventure today. Alice, is there any important notes that you have about your setting that you want to let anybody know about?
Well, it is an established superhero world that has a lot of roots within a grim modern world. You can find more information about it by going and watching our super shorts and you can, superhero shorts segments. You can also find the campaign brief that I shared with everyone in the similar podcast. So I don't want to take up too much time here.
Gotcha. Well, so what, like I said, this, you guys were supposed to be an established superhero team, and why don't we go ahead and go around on where each of us is, you know, in the team, so that way everybody understands kind of who they're going to be working with and all. So why don't we start with Jacob, who's in the big center of my monitor. It's kind of like an old Brady Bunch thing with him being Alice.
All right, today I will be playing Daniel Tudor, and he goes by the hero name of Celestial. Celestial is the son of a popular hero who died 3 years ago during the big attack of the UN, and he was very much a big strong, high-flying Superman type. Who he was an alien of a Kirby godlike alien race, and this is his half-human son. And he's trying to pick up the mantle and do right by his father.
And to your team, what kind of celestial powers are we?
He is super strong. He is invulnerable. He's got things like solar vision. He has a tiny amount of super speed, can see through walls, and is otherwise very fast and tough.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump over to Psycho for our next one.
Alrighty. My character, Jonathan Wright, goes by the name Eclipse, and he is a rather versatile gravity user. Between flight, creating little gravity traps and such to bind people, or even just straight up pin them outright, or using it towards telekinesis. He also uses it for self-defense, protecting himself, or just manipulating objects for defense of himself and allies.
Awesome. And Alice, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick breakdown on your...
Sure. I will be playing Mistress Mysterio, aka Chauvin Shaw. She was the daughter of a mafia kingpin, and when she found out what he was, she ran away from home after watching her brother die. She spent some time on the streets, was eventually adopted by the Midnight Circus, by their ringleader, who actually saved her from a kidnapping and became his apprentice. She is a mystic. Yeah, she's a mystic with a bit of a circus theme to it, is what I'll say.
And rounding out our group, why don't we hear a little bit about Beast? Or a little bit from Beast.
All right, I am playing Blip. She is a mutant. She's half Caucasian, half Japanese. She's an orphan who manipulates gates and does teleportation. She is a martial artist.
Awesome. And what's the team name that you guys are going by?
We are the new generation of the Millennial Sentinels.
The Millennial Sentinels. So you guys complain about everything being too hard?
Like this game.
Competency die. Oh, wait, wrong system.
Oh, speaking of which, everybody does start with a hero point. Is everybody...
yeah, I'll take a hero point.
Everybody pretty familiar with the way hero points work in Mutants Masterminds?
Yes, I am.
I know the basics, but I expect I missed a few things.
That's fine. You can always ask. There's also extra effort, which is similar to pushing in champions that you can do. That has some pretty cool things. The two are not linked, but a hero extra effort makes you tired. The first time you get tired isn't so bad. Your speed just basically gets cut in half for all forms of movement. After that, it starts getting pretty bad. But the hero points will allow you to negate one level of that. And so some people kind of get them confused and think that extra effort requires the hero points. It really does not. So for the third anniversary of the attack on UN, a brutal attack in the heart of New York City, with obviously the world watching as it was the UN itself, and a bunch of bombs went off, casualties among the international community, ambassadors, lots of nationals, individuals that were responsible for protection, first responders, as well as superhero team. It is believed linked to a member of one of the superhero teams, a prominent member. and so it was this big scar on the U.S., big scar on international relations, and a big shaking of the foundation of trust in superheroes for them to have had a member who had gone rogue. For each year on the anniversary, there's been a big commemoration and such. The site of the old UN has been being constructed as a memorial, though that is not done yet. And for this one, all of you have gotten an invitation to a special unveiling where President Carissa Munez is going to have a special announcement. And so you, as the Millennium Sentinels, were all given an invitation to come and enjoy the festivities as special guests, as basically the next generation of heroes for the world. The Millennial Sentinels, Alice, I believe, is the group that was specifically most decimated by the attack and had the member that was believed to be a traitor.
No, they weren't the traitor. They were the New York team that were acting as first responders. They also, because due to the nature of the UN meeting, they also had a number of their members acting as additional security forces for the various diplomats for the event when it was attacked. So a lot of their team was decimated. The traitor came from the West Coast team, Bay Brigade.
You can never trust those West Coast Avengers.
FYI, for those who are interested, Mistress Mysterio character portrait should now be showing in our OBS feed, in our live feed, next to me. So,
I only see
you guys won't be able to see it. It's going to be on our overall viewer thing.
Well, that's a disappointment.
I'm sorry.
I know I sent an illustration of Celestial to you. I hope you got that.
Yeah, I can go pop that up on our feed as well for you.
Yeah, and Blips was in her PDF. If you'd like, I can send. I can drop a just the picture itself into the feed here.
Sure. Go ahead and drop it for me, and I'll get it posted up for people. That's fine. And so, Mistress Mysterio will certainly attend, Brandon. For those of you who need a description, she wears a white corset embroidered with black ornate designs and a fleur-de-lis style design. She also wears 2 fingerless gloves, white with fleur-de-lis designs. For those of you who have worked with her, you will know that she actually animates the fleur-de-lis designs off of her clothes, leaving it white, and she is able to use that to manipulate her surroundings. But yeah, it sounds great. I will attend the event happily.
Is there any preparation that Celestial, Eclipse, or Blip want to get done beforehand?
Other than personal grooming?
I'm certain that your Kirby Celestial ancestry has made it that you can walk out of bed and look perfect.
Yes.
For Eclipse, other than privately and separately clarifying what's going on with his family, he'll just transform and head on his way.
Okay. And Blip?
Blip will head on over. She's wearing underwear at least.
That's good.
That's
that reminds me of Crodmandoon and the Flaming Sword of Fire, where the girl tumbles and they're like, you could see everything.
Well,
I'm
picture I posted.
Watch that.
The picture I posted kind of leaves that wondering.
I definitely did notice that after you mentioned it, yes. All right, and it was not a great show, Jacob, but it did have a few laughs, but it definitely tried to go way too lowbrow on it.
I like the fact that the bad guy was basically playing evil middle management. That was my takeaway from it.
All right, so yeah, you guys are there, and it's a big 4th of July celebration, American style. You You have, Blue Angels flying over the top at times. You have all sorts of let's call them demi superpowers, not really superheroes, but people trying to, display why they're awesome and such in the parade, and they get their own float of different things and all sorts of different great Americana. There's barbecue out for everybody. The air smells wonderful and succulent with that smoky flavor on it.
I'm definitely
And
going to get some barbecue.
good. It is quite excellent. You can go to the original Jimmy's Barbecue, or you can go to Jimmy's Original Barbecue. It is your decision, but there is a fierce debate
Jimmy's
over
Original.
which is the true original.
Jimmy's Original. Clearly, that's the original.
Okay. And the day goes on, and you guys by all means have different times where people come up to you that sometimes it's specific events scheduled around you, or other times it's just people who are coming up to you constantly and either saying what a difference that you've made to them. Uh-oh.
Everything okay there?
Yeah, I think, yes, I did do this. I need to go and grab my power cord because it got moved to the other room since my other power cord died.
Oh.
And I forgot that I had moved that.
Well, Celestial is definitely one who is all about, taking pictures with people, shaking hands, trying local confections. So, support of local businesses, just generally, yay people.
So lots of kissing hands and shaking babies.
Absolutely.
Just don't shake them too hard.
And scanning of suspicious-looking people with his penetrating vision, just in case they might be holding bombs or weapons that might disrupt the joyous activities, and reporting them to the police.
So, unlike The Rock, who has smoldering intensity, you have penetrating gaze that you could just give people.
Oh no, he has a level of attractive too, so he has smoldering intensity as well.
Oh, sweet.
Blip will also, she's got portal vision, which is a remote sensing. She'll basically, open a small portal into any kind of package, or somebody who might be dressed in overly long coats or heavier clothing than what would be necessary for this type of weather, things like that. And she's attractive also, and she has no qualms about having her picture taken, things like that.
Blip definitely notices that those who come up to her are predominantly from the male gender. She gets lots of dirty looks from the female gender, but there are women that by all means come up and talk about what an inspiration you are to them as well. But yes, definitely there's a certain amount of males that just want to be near somebody that is attractive and a superhero, and it's their thing.
MM would like to be participating in the festivities of entertainment oriented things. So if there's a stage that she could go and help with, in boosting someone's performance or taking part in a performance, she will happily do so. I do also have attractive too.
Yep.
Which I know you know. She would happily either introduce the act or help with the acts, etc., in any way she can.
People quite easily welcome Mistress Mysterio into their acts as whatever enhancement, because anything that she can give will only increase the attention that they're getting, and so they're very happy with that. I'm certain there are lions and tigers and bears.
And I can make their hair blow an invisible wind like they like, right?
Very, very Fabio style.
Smoke machine,
yep,
doves, a white horse walking by for absolutely no reason.
No white horse. Well, unless it's got like circus gear on it, but lions and tigers also.
She makes it an Old Spice commercial.
Eclipse will be mingling through the crowd. Is apparently the ugly member of the bunch with no ranks and attractive, but especially looking for anybody that would be capable of helping support and fund the group. And additional note, he does have good instincts for reading people, insight checks. So if there's anybody that he would get a bad feeling about, he would pay a special attention.
Gotcha. Well, there's always at least a little bit of room around Eclipse where the others definitely do get packed onto. It might have something to do with the very 90s-esque spikes that the costume sports. That they are pointy and sharp. You can by all means spend some of your time networking, and there's lots of different groups that are interested in if you want to support Original Ray's Pizza, he'll give you a stack of pizza coupons you can pass out to anybody. They can aid with diplomacy checks. It has worked very well in Philadelphia, they've heard.
I was just going to say, are there Philly cheesesteaks involved?
No, this is New York. This is New York, so.
Given his appetite, he agrees to shoot a commercial for them.
Sweet. Zero G Pizza is going to be the next thing for them. It's awesome. All right. As the day continues on, and we get away from what everybody's here for, which is the fun and the festivities, and we get onto the dumb things, which is like politicians having speeches and making certain that they are somehow tied to the awesomeness of the event. So with a little pomp, a little circumstance, and probably a lot of groans, especially from the little ones. It is time to turn attention to the stages and let more boring people than those that Mistress Mysterio has been working with all day take a little time and give a few speeches. And there's a number from different organizations and such throughout the day that have been part of this and talking about rebuilding of New York after the attack, reinstituting a sense of safety, that this is the greatest city in the world. But the big one is going to be when President Carissa Munoz comes out and addresses the crowd. And ever since the UN attack, the president has been attached to the 4th of July celebration here in New York. To try and show that level of solidarity, not only with the country, but with the world. Pardon me, coughs are wonderful.
I applaud, and I'm going to try and make sure that I am kind of in the front row of the show on this, and try and basically be near the stage in the front row.
Blip is going to actually be as far back and as up high as she can get, so that she can overwatch the stage and the crowd.
Gotcha. Anywhere specifically that Celestial or Eclipse want to be, or are they flying at the moment?
No, Celestial will be in among the crowd. That way he is among the people.
And Eclipse still going to mingle. Be paying attention.
Okay. The president comes out, and there's Secret Service guys everywhere. Those of you who are observant or have good insight have noticed them either in their suits and ties with obvious earpieces, or more in a covert look that they're trying to be part of the group, the crowd as well, not in that same getup. But you've seen security since the president is going to be here, and it's definitely the presence of them has increased as time has gone on, and the president's appearance gets closer and closer. And the president comes out in a blaze of fireworks and such, that explosions everywhere for the fireworks. Those of you with any super hearing are definitely getting getting a little tired of all the jets flying over,
Pop,
explosions,
pop,
or just
Hey, I'm having an earthquake.
pop, 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 whoosh.
And the president comes out and starts to address the crowd and speaks of the tragedy that befell America, that befell the world, and how America was greatly saddened by the UN, but understanding that when the UN moved its home base out of America and over to The Hague, is it, Alice?
Yep, The Hague.
That they are.
Yep.
And is hoping to be able to reinstitute that sense of safety that America can provide for these types of multi-nation groups, and hopes that the UN will at some point come back. And in line with that, she wants to bring out to unveil the project of General Taylor, and that is that America has just got armed. And General Taylor comes out, and he speaks, and he's like, "You see, we've been under the shadow of this tragedy that has befallen us. We are seeking response that we can rely on. Well, our heroes," and he makes a broad gesture. He doesn't know exactly where you guys are, but probably picks some of you guys out in the crowd. "Our heroes are able to defend us on so many levels. They are individual citizens and not part of a specific part of our great nation's defense structure. And for that reason, we have just been armed. I am introducing," and all of a sudden you guys start hearing the mechanical walkers coming onto the stage. "The American Response Mechanized Emergency Division. We are going to be from sea to shining sea, here to protect our interests as part of the National Guard. We, as we go forward, if we need to, we will continue to roll out into more of a overseas institution." And these droids are just big, heavy-looking walker type, semi-humanoid, but about 2 times as large as a huge guy, and just bristling with armor plates that your super senses can detect. With our X-ray vision, with our portal vision, you guys are able to easily start peeking around at them, and they obviously have weapon system upon weapon system, as well as other high tech things involved in them. Alice, you had a question?
I was just going to say that this has my senses tingling. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, so people near me start seeing that the fleur-de-lis start lifting off my wrists just a little bit.
You have a Siobhan tingle?
Oh gosh, please, no, don't do that.
Okay. And there's 3 of these big walkers up on the stage, just looking massively intimidating, and the gun ports open up, and all of a sudden fireworks start flying out from the machines themselves, and it's obvious to those of you who have those awesome senses that these ones aren't really rigged up to fight at the moment. They're more here as a fantabulous demonstration and such. Any reactions from our 4 crowd members?
Oh, look. Money that could have gone to college tuition or healthcare.
I'll give that a hero point.
Danke.
Like I said, I am, the fleur-de-lis kind of lifting off my wrists, and I'm just ready for trouble at this point.
Eclipse, it does have the hair on the back of his neck standing, so he would be floating a little bit higher above the crowd so he can keep a clear view on what's going on with the stage and paying special attention to our current speakers.
Gotcha. Blip, anything from you?
Oh yeah, she's just wondering. So I wonder when the gunslingers are going to bring their toys out.
And
Alice, you were saying something.
yeah, I was just going to say, MM's thought bubble right now is, and machines don't have conscience.
Exactly.
Well, the crowd is eating it up. That they seem to be tremendously, in for this promise of a safer place where 4th of July parades can be held without worry for massive explosions and superhero battles. That they are quite willing to entrust their safety to this promise of a mechanized response, this armed initiative that they are putting forward. And there are some dissenters, but they are primarily booed out from those that are here. So you guys have your own personal feelings, all of which seem to be distrust. I wonder what kind of world you guys live in that you just can't trust robots to protect us. Come on.
Well, also with the general knowledge of long-term superheroes, what is the standing in the world of using heroes and advanced weapons like this in combat, as the general had suggested? Is it against the law?
One nation actually that's been, or movement that's been giving a great deal of trouble. Is it? You've gone back and forth in your designs, Alice. Are you thinking it's a nation or a terrorist group at this point?
Black Sun is terrorist group. If you're asking about Black Sun.
Yeah, well, there have been a number of terrorist attacks that have been tied to a specific superhero metahuman movement, basically, that has given trouble in the past. And I'm not aware of any conventions against using specific superpowered individuals in conventional warfare that Alice may have come up, though that might be getting debated on the UN floor as you guys are here looking at this because of the attacks that have happened in some nations. I'm certain that have a glut of superpowered individuals, US, are very in for using that kind of force.
Well, also the Black Sun terrorist group has origins that are rumored amongst the masses to be ex-superpowered paramilitary, basically, that they were black ops or off the books for worldwide groups, various countries and such like that. They either were disgruntled or disavowed and such like that, and so they formed up into Black Sun. So what happens with the robots, the weapons, and the superpowered people that the nations throw away, they become part of Black Sun.
What happens in New York stays in New York.
Yep. What happens in New York, though, stays in New York.
And as you guys, you're focused on the stage and just really all thinking about what's going on here. All of a sudden, this explosion comes from near in the crowd area, and we had a couple of people. We had two people who were in the crowd. Alice, you were more trying to be up front and center.
Yeah. So it's not me. But I believe Jacob and Blip were in the crowd, and then we've got Eclipse up above the crowd. So I'm the furthest from this reaction.
Blip was actually pretty far back. Eclipse was in the crowd for a while, still continuing, but then started to kind of float so he could keep a good line of sight on everything. He wasn't really flying high, but just a head or two above was the way that I pictured it in the comic panel.
Agreed.
And all of a sudden, there's this massive explosion of people getting flung. It's a programmer's physics engine wet dream of people flying, body parts flailing, as this explosion of soil comes up. As the dust cloud begins to clear, or perhaps we have a vision that will allow us to see into it. You see this individual, scraggly beard, beat up, long coat, several layers on, even though it's a sweltering hot day in New York. All of it dirty, sweat-stained, food-stained. Looks like the individual has done hard living. And bottle still in his hand in a brown bag, and he calls out in a fairly deep, resonant voice, and he's like, "Don't you see how this is gonna turn out? Everything's gone wrong here. We can't trust these things." And at that point, we'll go ahead and roll initiative. See how you guys react to that.
Eclipse with a 23 total.
Celestial has a 21.
Where are we rolling? Is it Delta Dash?
Go to dice rolls. Go to the BWK channel, and then in dice rolls, you'll see you can use it there, or you can use real dice if you'd like. I got a 12, Brandon. I have a high in mod. I just rolled really bad.
Happens to all of us.
Yep.
Luckily, I have one of the giant D20s in my bedroom. 12 plus initiative of 6, so 18.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to use real dice, or you guys can use the Dash Delta bot, which there's a dice rolling channel set up in BWK4.
Okay, Eclipse, you are first on our list of characters here. You are, this I randomly rolled if it was going to be near you guys or not. Celestial, you're not that far off from it. You weren't caught in the explosion of people. So, Eclipse, you're a little bit away. I'm not certain how fast you fly or anything, but you could probably make it there without a problem. Always just go over, if you're trying to move, how fast you move, because I don't have your sheets right in front of me. For Eclipse, it was just that printing the JPEG out would have been hard, and I didn't ever have time to get him here labbed up right.
No worries. His flight speed is 8, so a mile around.
Oh, yeah.
Are we still dealing with the dust and debris and everything in the air?
There is definite dust and debris of the rocks. There's also people everywhere scattered throughout, looking like, in about a 20-foot radius that were immediately affected by whatever kind of explosive force started this.
Okay. Are there any bystanders near the guy that caused the explosion?
There are. They aren't really standing or anything. They've been knocked back by whatever that force was. There's only a few that are in his immediate area. Mostly they have gotten blown back about 10, 15 feet from him.
All right. Well, I feel like in this point, the best move for Eclipse, he would probably start by using his gravity trap directly on the newcomer, which is a 15-foot radius, just sucking everything straight to the center. Okay,
you're definitely going to catch a number of people with that, if that is your plan.
In that case, I will do it just enough above him so that the sphere will only catch.
Okay. That will take a ranged attack, basically, with that power to try and get that level of precision on it.
Alrighty. I rolled a 10, and with his plus 10, so total 20.
Okay. That seems like it will work fine. So, what is the power that we're using here?
It's gravity trap. Cloud area move object 10.
Okay. And so this is area effect, so first he gets his dodge check against it.
Yes, sir. DC 20.
Okay. So he succeeds at that. So then it's only half effect, and he is resisting it with strength, did you say?
Strength or speed, whichever is better.
Okay. And he's got a 21 on that.
He escaped, but this should, at the very least, help clear some of the debris by sucking it in there and clearing line of.
Yeah, and you guys, this cloud begins to form as it sucks the debris up. You see snow cones flying up as well as the dirt. The guy, it's like he's in that breeze, but it's blowing up. His beard is flowing, and a bunch of his hair comes up from behind his coat as it's being pulled, and you can see that like his hair, which is fairly long, it continues down his back, not just because it's long, but because it continues to grow as it goes down his back. And anything else other than making a cloud that is sucking out a bunch of that debris?
Other than that, Eclipse is going to fly a bit closer towards him and be, give or take, about 100 feet above.
Okay. And next we're on to Celestial.
Okay, thinking of people first, Celestial is going to use his Celestial Speed, a mix of flight, move by action, and quickness 4, to get as many people out of the immediate area of danger as he can.
Okay. Go ahead and roll on your quickness 4.
I will get a total of 19.
19, okay. You have a massive level of success on evacuating people. Why don't you go ahead and give us the description on your comic panel on that?
So yeah, seeing everything, it's just like this blur of gold and white light as he's grabbing a little girl, grabbing a little boy, grabbing their toy as they gesture towards it. Taking various people just out of the area real quick. It's and hopefully getting a quick glimpse at the bad guy, just letting him know I'm on to you.
Okay. You do your run around there, and you will net a hero point for civilians first. So you're up to a massive 3. I think Jacob's milking me for them. All right, Blip, we're over to you at this point. The scene has begun to unfold. Most of the debris, the detritus, is floating upwards into this just roiling cloud of effect up there. That you see that energy basically running through, that occasionally you can make out to be Celestial as he stoops down and grabs little girls and their teddy bears for rescue.
Blip will go and teleport directly to who's ever standing in the middle and seems to been the cause of this. And it's like,
okay,
you better not have hurt anybody. That's really going to tick me off.
He's there, and just being in the environment of him, you get that smell of unwashed masses, so a perfect American smell, and as well as liquor. So we continue with that perfect American smell, especially on a hot, humid New York day like the 4th of July. And he's obviously currently inebriated. Like I've said, he's still got the bottle in his hand in a brown bag. And he's kind of, swaying back and forth a little bit. And he's like, no, you don't understand. We've got to save them all. And what do you want to do?
Right now, she's going to wait for him to do something other than she's waiting her move, waiting a half action, I guess.
Okay. At that point, he's going to go, and he takes a wild swing at you, Blip. So what do we got there?
Okay, let him do that. Then she'll counter with a throw.
Okay. He takes a wild swing at you and ends up swinging and missing on you. Obviously had more force behind it, and still seems to be staggering about a bit as he's trying to do it. Go ahead and use your throw attempt.
All right. Offense +4, +4, 8.
Well, neither one of you swing or connect. He takes a swing, stumble steps a bit, smacks into the ground. Another just massive explosion of dirt. And as you're there, you see that what the explosion was, there seems to be a hole that he was standing next to when you first came on.
All right. Take a look down the hole. Remote sensing if necessary.
Sure. It looks like it is a large being human-sized tunnel that goes beyond your vision. And Mistress Mysterio, we are up to you.
Okay. In places like this, there's often different tiers of stands and whatnot that are made for people to be able to assemble on. So at this point, MM is going to turn to one of those big platforms, and I'm going to animate object and lift and hover it out of the way of the action. And I'm going to turn to the guy and say, "Hey, Hobo Beard, the pirate convention was last weekend."
Okay, so is your stand that you're getting ready for an attack, or are you trying to get people out of there that are on that stand?
I am animating objects to move people out of the way, moving the stands out of the way. I can move 25 tons.
Okay. You similarly, I will net you a hero point for getting people out. I would say between you and Celestial, you guys have a small area cleared around this individual, free of bystanders. Just as a note, the way that I run Mutants Mastermind as well as most of my superhero games, sometimes in these books they'll say a combat round is 6 seconds. No. A combat round is, your panel. That's your action. What are you accomplishing? Sometimes Beast is able, or Mr. Fantastic comes up with these fantastical, generations, but Thing punches one person. So that's just kind of the way comic panel time works.
So for my comic panel, you guys see that the fleur-de-lis comes off my wrists, and then it starts floating off of my corset, and it starts to form into these giant Bigby-like hands, and they just go and pick up these stands, lift them into the air, and gently start moving them away. And then with my other hand, one of my hands, I then move my other hand over and reach up towards one of the banners in the air, and you can see it starting to come down, because that's going to be my next action. So that's my current action. Done.
Okay. We are back up to the top with Eclipse.
Alrighty. Has the target moved from where I initially tried to?
Only slightly. Him and Blip are fighting in that same area near the hole that Blip has seen.
Perfection. Plan worked. Let's see if I can continue it. Eclipse is going to end his gravity trap effect, causing everything that was there to just free fall, and then attempt to use it to entomb the guy.
Okay, so, since you're using a cloud, that's going to last for 1 round after you stop it. So you can try the entomb next round, but it will last for a round after its duration expires.
Alrighty, that is fair. In that case, looking around, are there any bystanders near him?
Between Celestial and Mistress Mysterio, they have cleared out most of the bystanders in the immediate area. You guys have about 20, 30 feet cleared around him. That being said, while some people are crying and fleeing, others are watching and filming beyond that range.
Well, Eclipse will insight check if necessary, determine who he feels is at the most risk, and use his gravity kinesis, basically telekinesis, to move them away.
What range are you going for? Because like I said, you guys are clear for 20 to 30 feet around him, basically. So it depends on how much of a safety, and realize, I mean, the whole place is packed with people, so the people that you guys are moving only have so far to go before they're hitting the next people.
And that's why I moved them up into the air. They're stacked above people further away.
Well, with about a 30-foot range, in that case, grab something and use his telekinesis to smack him.
Okay.
And I don't expect much rolling a 3 with a +10.
We've had a 3 and a 4 on attacks so far. That's awesome, guys.
I started with a 10.
Celestial, after having rescued a little girl and her favorite teddy bear Bubbles, you are freed up for some action.
Celestial is going to then rush towards the Shaggy Man and attempt to put him in a grapple.
Okay.
Not doing well on those rolls. I'm rolling a 5. I will get a total of 13.
13.
This guy must be a drunken master, of course.
As you close in on him, you really realize the size of the individual. He is, a mammoth of a man, as they say. Well, first, what strikes you is the smell that I've already described. Next comes just that he is a big kind of fella. And as you try and grab onto him and such, you don't get a good grab, but you feel that underneath the clothes, he's really rippling with muscles. Go ahead and just toss a quick perception check for me. And Blip, you're welcome to do this as well, since you're up in his face.
All right, my perception total is 22. Also, I was going to ask about if this guy seems big and large, and he seems to have tunneling powers. Is he seemingly recognizable as any potential hero or villain that we might know?
Do you have any applicable expertises leading you to know about different things in the superhero community? Modern
expertise, popular culture.
Popular culture does it, and I'll give you a little bit more too with yours. Blip, what was your roll on?
Her roll was 8 + 8 for 16.
16 gets it. So both of you notice that underneath this thick beard that's currently being pulled up with gravity a bit, the guy has literal tusks that are coming out and are kind of curved around. And what is our knowledge check, our expertise check, Jacob?
Our popular culture totaled a 21.
21. Well, normally he would go around in costume, and last you know, he was presumed dead. The tusks, the size of the individual, the fact that you probably have fought him in training a time or two, leads you to believe that this is a former, believed, as I said, dead Millennium Sentinel that goes by the name of Groundhog. HAWG, Hog. He, as I said, Millennium Sentinel, so he was a hero last you had any dealings, and he was believed dead 3 years ago on this day.
All right, so seeing that, Celestial is going, Groundhog, it's okay. Calm down.
You have taken your action, so you don't get any attempt at persuasion.
That's fine. I'm just setting the stage.
There we go. All right. After Celestial, we are back to Blip.
Blip's gonna wait for him. Again, this time, if he takes a swing, she's gonna deck him.
Okay. As he's basically shaking loose of Celestial's ineffective grab, he flings out his arm, and let's go ahead and see if this is going to impact Celestial or not. So, That is a pretty good roll. We are at 25.
Oh yeah, that'll hit him.
Okay. That is going to be a DC 28 toughness check.
I have impervious 10 if it comes up.
Okay. Does not on this.
Very well then. My toughness rolling 18 totals a 30.
Okay. You feel that hit. Groundhog is as strong as ever. You know that he was a tough individual. And you don't get hurt by it, but you definitely feel it. With the rest of his action, he starts to rush forward towards the stage. That puts him into the middle of the crowd again as he's kind of pushing past people. Blip, what is your action as he's rushing?
She's gonna punch him out and hopefully take him down. Let's see. Offensive. Eight plus 4 for 12, so probably not.
Yep, still a no. That
drunken master must truly be good.
And at this point, he's not so much actively dodging out of the way. He actually moves at a pretty good speed, and is just kind of not burrowing, pushing forward and shoving people out of his way. Mistress Mysterio, he is in the thick of the crowd again at this point, pushing towards the stage. The Secret Service, you can see, is trying to get the president away. The droids are forming up on the president, and the Secret Service is actually going to be using them as cover as they are trying to protect her.
Okay. Well, I'm going to trust them to do their job for the moment. I am going to continue with the original action, which is I motion up to the banners with one hand. The hand that was pushing, animating the objects out of the way, now goes to my head, and a top hat appears, pulls it off my head. The banner comes down and turns into a flying carpet. I hop on and lift myself up into the air at this point.
All right, hold on. Let me just understand this. You pulled a banner through the air to your head, turned it into a top hat.
No.
It's on your head. You pulled a top hat off and turned it into a carpet?
No.
I'm not arguing with it.
One hand goes to my head, and an invisible or non-existing top hat is snapped right into existence. The other hand pulls the banner down, turns into a magic carpet.
Okay, I just thought you were going for a very David Caruso moment where
I'm not going for a David
Caruso. The sunglasses go on just so they can come off in a dramatic fashion.
No, I use one hand, goes to my head, a quick snap, and a top hat appears because I need it for my next act, and then my other hand creates my magic carpet so that I float up into the air.
Okay, and the magic carpet is the banner.
Yes, the banner becomes the magic carpet.
Okay, so you are now flying above the air, very Mario 2 style, on your magic carpet.
Yep.
And looking, you have this scene. What is your standard action here?
My standard action is going to be, I will take the hat, and I will attempt to do I will look over at the guy that's bull rushing through. And I'm going to attempt a polymorphic panacea on him. That is in the effect of his hair, the way you were describing it, is going to turn into snakes, and then we're going to put him into a can, like as in can pops out snakes, that kind of can. And we're going to see about getting him dazed, stunned, or transformed, depending on the degree of failure.
So I thought polymorphic panacea was your turn people into sheep, which that's fine. And I thought, was it hat trick was or something else was more like what you're describing now?
Oh, sorry, no. I stated the wrong one. It's Enchanter's Entanglement is what I'm describing right now. I apologize.
That's what you turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you turned Iron Man into the shredded box with it.
So I'm going to, this one is hindered, defenseless, and mobile, but it's the same DC, so my eyes just jumped the wrong way, but I apologize. Enchantress Entanglement. So he's going to go into a popping snake can, and his hair is going to turn into snakes and start wrapping around him within the can.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your 2-hit.
Sure thing. I'm trying to find my 2-hit on this character sheet. Ah, there it is.
Silence. What's going for radio?
17.
17. That is a connection.
Awesome.
What is
DC 22.
What am I? What is it?
DC 22.
22. He ends at a 25. Hold on. Fort or will? I'm assuming that's fort based on the description.
Resistance is dodge.
Resistance is dodge. Okay. That is a little bit different. That is a 16, failure by 2.
So second degree is going to be first degree hindered and vulnerable. Second degree is defenseless. He is encased in the can with snakes wrapping around him.
He's not encased in any can. That would have to be a third degree that's going to stop him completely.
Sure, that's true.
His beard has become these obvious, it's obvious cartoon snakes, the types that get in the can, or is it real snakes? Actually,
it looks like cartoon snakes that get put in the can, and the can pops up around him, and then the can disappears, pops below him as the snakes come up and around him.
But yeah, his beard begins to elongate and wrap up around him and
Brandon,
such.
I apologize.
Yo.
I did buy second degree as defenseless and immobile. It is both in second degree.
Oh, okay.
So he is in the can. So his head's sticking out, the snakes are coming out. Yeah.
Excellent.
Snake in a can.
Okay.
That's my action.
Eclipse, your action, your cloud ends. Let's go ahead and attack Celestial, who is standing right under where that cloud was.
Oh, it's not an attack. I mean, he might get stuff raining down on him, but it's...
You described how you wanted to make it a prison of the garbage.
That was going to be a second attack, though.
I know. Let's go ahead and attack Celestial like we were doing that. He's in that exact position that you were describing.
What did I do to you?
We could at least get a little, ice cream cone right on top of his head to, make him a little cartoonish.
Wouldn't it be better to give him a dodge?
Oh yeah, I mean, by all means, however this attack would have worked, let's run that on him. I love people attacking their party members. It's great fun.
Well, this is just the stuff falling on him. I'm not actually attacking, and I rolled a 17. You want with it?
Is that your modified 17?
No, I rolled a 17.
Okay, I'm assuming that's going to hit Celestial.
That's going to hit me by 1.
All right.
You just got really...
Celestial, you knew the guy. You know the guy. Clearly, you're against us. You're the only one that knows him.
That has so far recognized him.
Yes.
And what is the effect of this?
And what is the resistance to it?
This was nothing but the debris and stuff being pulled to a center and then falling. I did not do the tomb, which is a completely different ability I was going to use the junk from.
Oh, okay, I follow. Well, Celestial, you are covered with the floating debris. There is chunks of dirt, ice cream, barbecue from both was it Original Ray's and Ray's Original or whatever the name was? Jimmy's Original and Original Jimmy's. You are a mix. They've gotten chocolate in your peanut butter.
So I'm taking dignity damage.
Yes, heavy dignity damage.
Did you happen to catch a slice of pizza on your face?
So he just brushes himself off, looks up at Eclipse, shakes his head.
You better save some of those burnt ends.
As Eclipse flies by, he apologizes, says things don't always go to plan, gets up to about 50 feet from Groundhog, and tries to use his gravity kinesis on the can itself to lift him off the ground inside the can.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go with that.
Do I need to roll since I'm technically affecting an object that just happens to have somebody inside of it?
Yes, go ahead and roll, because the object is more just part of the effect. It is still him because he's trying to bust out of it.
Can't blame an Eclipse for hoping. Total of 19.
Total of 19. That is definitely a connection.
In which case, I am just going to use it to pick him up, like I said, get about 100 feet off the ground to get him away from everything.
Okay, and what is the method that he can resist that with?
It's a damaging move object, so I'm not sure what the save would be for that, to be honest.
Okay, so that is the same as a grab, if I'm remembering correctly. So I believe that he gets to
dodge, or he could use his strength to go up against the move object.
I'm glad you're here, Jacob, because you remember Mutants Masterminds way better than I do, since I haven't played it in years. Other than
Jacob plays
like
it a lot more than
your game.
I have a huge, giant, popular setting set in Mutants Mastermind.
Really? Why don't you tell us about that while I quickly read Grab?
Why don't I take a moment to plug the Super-Powered Legends? Do you want to know how to make your favorite comic book superheroes in Mutants Masterminds? Then you should pick up the Super-Powered Legends. If you want to know how to make a patriotic, shield-flinging hero, we've got that for you. If you want to make a god who has a weapon that can control the weather, we've got that for you. If you want to know how to create a hero with spider powers and flinging webs everywhere, we've got that for you. Just pick up the Super-Powered Legends available in Mutants and Masterminds and Icons.
And thank you very much for that perfectly timed plug I had just finished going over. So I'm going to go ahead and make my roll here. He has a 20. Is this a move object 10 effect?
Correct.
Okay, he is able to bust out of your gravikinesis with that. Is on damaging, would the damaging require the successful grab and then do damage? Because it mentions that it is based on normal grab. So that's my thought. Any opposing dissenting opinions on that?
Nope.
Being affected by Mysterio wasn't defenseless one of the problems?
He is immobile and defenseless according to my second degree, which he failed by 2 degrees.
Strength is not affected by defenseless to the best of my knowledge. Let's look defenseless
I'm pretty sure that it's not, though. I'm pretty sure he can still strength.
Condition defenseless character has active defense bonus of 0. Attackers can make attacks against defenseless as routine. That makes him very easy to hit, but it does not necessarily make him easy to affect.
Wah, wah, wah.
Aye. Celestial, covered in pork, chicken, and beef.
Well, then I'm pretty much in the same condition as our bad guy. All right. Celestial, seeing that Groundhog is currently floating due to the gravity kinesis.
He is not. He was able to resist that.
He was able to resist that? Okay. I am once again then going to attempt to grapple him and try to talk him down.
Okay. Since he is defenseless, that should not be terribly hard.
Grab a big can of snakes and give it a hug.
I will get a 25 on the grapple, and I will expend a hero point to try to get an extra action for a persuasion check to talk him down.
Okay. So he is going to try and rip his way out of your grab. And what is your strength?
12.
12. He ends up with a 25 on his roll.
Good gravy.
So he is as hard to grab as a greased pig is something that you guys that you heard bandied about while training with him, and you are welcome to try and make that persuasion. Go ahead and do you have much insight?
I have a little insight.
Well, go ahead and give us a little insight then.
I will total a 15 on my insight.
Okay. He does not really appear to be listening, is your immediate reaction as you think about talking to him. He doesn't really seem like he's paying as much attention to anything that you guys might be saying.
Okay, seeing this, Celestial is going to gesture to Blip. I think he's being mind-controlled. Can you teleport him out of here to somewhere, and the rest of us to somewhere less popular?
Yeah, not a problem. I actually have the perfect spot for him. It'll work for both of you.
And we're moving on to Blip at that point.
Blip will go and do her mass transit teleport up to 800 pounds, grab them all, and teleport them above, say, 15, 20 feet above the memory pool, the pool that's on the mall.
On the mall. Yeah, that's Washington.
Okay. Is there
Are
any
you going
place
that far?
No. Is it? Well, not real. Not yet. Is there any place within 1,800 feet that looks like a large body of water?
I have no idea where the UN is, and if it's within a quarter mile of the Hudson.
It is not.
Yes, it is. It's on the Hudson.
Oh,
No, it's on the East River.
Yeah, it is right next to the
That's
river.
right. It's on the East River. I knew it wasn't the Hudson, but you're right.
Yeah.
East River.
All three of us are going in for a dunk.
Okay.
800 pounds is what you carry?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to bring me with you, but I'll get there on my own.
So teleport us all to the Hudson River, or to the East River, and take a dump.
All right.
Take a dunk, which should wash Celestial off and hopefully sober up the drunken master.
Oh yes, because we want to clean ourselves in the East River. Luckily, you've got high fortitude, Celestial. Dignity, maybe not so much after this.
Well, at least he's clean of the all the dirt and debris and greasy food.
Okay.
Right, now you have the East River.
On your power construction, go ahead and roll your attack on the unwilling target, basically. Once again, it should not be that hard.
All right. I am using fast grab and move by action. 15 plus 8 for...
You have definitely grabbed them. What is the resistance on your teleport like this?
It's teleport 6. It's accurate, change direction, change velocity.
It should be
and
dodge,
increased mass.
Normally that'd be a dodge.
Yeah, if it doesn't
that's
have
kinda what I
a
was
secondary,
thinking.
it's a dodge.
All right. You and Celestial suddenly find yourselves flying over. Him with a 26 is not, because if I remember correctly, active, and he's even going to be in the 20s if with the defenseless. The active defense is halved, right?
Correct.
Now, would that affect a resistance roll?
I believe so.
Normally, yes.
Okay, so he's at a 23 on his dodge.
And I had a 23.
Your 23 was to hit. At that point, you have to affect.
Right.
This, in Champion's terms, it would be like a power defense, but it turned into a roll instead.
Okay, so
So
not sure.
you and Celestial end up, and he can easily fly and keep you guys from the water. But you find yourselves without the strange person with you.
All right. He's saying something about the others. Maybe we should go back down the rabbit hole.
Once we deal with him, he seems to be crazed.
That's why I came for the river.
I think he's being controlled.
All right, Mistress Mysterio. He is going to try and bust out of this.
Sure. The resistance is dodge.
Yeah, but now you're effectively grabbing him, so it's affected him already. So what would be the normal way out of an entangle? Because that's what you're describing here, right?
Yes, that is correct. And
it's not called entangle in this game. What is it called?
No,
snare.
It's called
snare.
Snare. Yeah. Affliction's the power. Snare's just the specific construct on it.
If I remember correctly, he either has to deal enough damage to get free or sleight of hand.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct.
Target makes dodge resistance against DC, blah, blah, blah. The resistance to break out is based on damage, including strength or sleight of hand. So, yeah, just normal. So, as he tries to rip the snakes away, literally ripping his hair out of his face and leaving bloody chunks of it, there are snakes on the ground that are now menacing people and trying to entrap them. But yes, he does successfully rip those out of his face, and he is now bleeding from having grabbed so much hair and pulled it out.
When it drops to the ground, it should deanimate.
That doesn't sound as exciting. You having snakes that go attacking, but if that's what you say that your magic does, that as soon as it's not part of them,
the trick's over at that point, so it deanimates. It caught me in a bad situation at one point, so I remember that we decided it that way.
Okay, so he rips that out. Makes resistance checks at the end of each of his turns. Okay, so he can do something before that if he's got anything to specifically do. Well, anything that doesn't involve moving, which is not going to be his specialty at the moment. So that is, he actually, he looks at the crowd and he screams, "You have to get out of here! You all of you! You need to leave!" And he will scare the crowd with his action as he's literally ripping his face apart. And with a 32 intimidation, people begin to panic. So, at that point, Mistress Mysterio, you now have a panicked crowd that is no longer filming with their cell phones, but instead seeking to trample each other as the situation just dissolves into total chaos. The president is getting rocketed away in one of the droid's arms. The other two are flying wingmen for him. And so the president is gone, the droids are gone, the people are panicking, Secret Service is trying to control what's going on, but they are literally getting run over by a mass of panicked people.
Okay, at that point...
Everybody gets a dunk in the East River.
No, not quite. Unfortunately, I need to get him out of play because I'm not going to be able to calm the crowd without that. So, I am going to, at this point, declare that I'm going to be holding the majority of my action I'm going to be holding my action for teamwork play. I do have the teamwork feat. Therefore, the person that I am assisting will and I will get a +5 instead of +2.
It's only you and Eclipse here, as a reminder. The other two have disappeared.
I know, this is unfortunate because I was really hoping to teamwork with more of us. But my teamwork feat gives us a +5 instead of +2. So
you guys can have basic comm type things and such like that so you can communicate.
Okay. My plan at this point, and I'll get on comms. I'm going to try and lure him back into the hole. Celestial, I need you to calm the crowd or we're not going to get anywhere with this.
I'm on it.
Sorry, Psycho, what's your character's name again? Oh, Eclipse. Eclipse, can you drop him? Like, can you use your gravity to drop him down and I will follow?
I'll do my best, but we'd have to get him back to the hole. I don't have that kind of...
That's where the teamwork comes in. I'm basically lining up a play. The play is going to be that I will be using illusion, my illusion magic, and utilizing my +20 in deception with an extra effort to claim that I'm going to convince him that he's right, but the people that we're not safe from is back down that hole. And we need to go after them, all of us, so that we can stop the bad.
So Alice, when you say I'm going to convince him of this, that is a mental control. Now, I'm not disagreeing. You can do that with illusion, but
I'm using deception as my skill to do instead.
Okay.
But I'm going to utilize illusions to assist my deception skill.
Okay.
I have an illusion 8, and my primary check is going to be deception, and then I'm going to use an extra effort to bring illusions into this aspect. And I'm going to be lining up for that team effort, so I'm going to wait for the next people to go.
Eclipse.
Okay, seeing the plan... For now, being unable to actually do anything with that, Eclipse is going to look at the trampling crowd and figure out where the worst of it all is, and regrettably do the best thing he knows and create a gravity trap to prevent them from trampling each other, and also get them simultaneously away from him.
Eclipse, because you don't understand the system, I am giving up my action right now, basically delaying while you guys basically start lining up your actions. If you do a different action than our team play, I will lose an entire round for nothing, basically. That if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not stopping you. I know you don't know the system that well, so it's your choice whether I'm sacrificing an entire action on purpose.
Well, you called people for this plan that aren't here right now, Alice, and I think that's part of what he was saying is that things aren't ready for your plan.
They're only a move away though, right? For Celestial. Blip and Celestial can get to us in and out. Yeah, so they move one move. They're with us. Because he said 118 feet. That's really close. I've got my
1,800 feet.
Oh, 1,800 feet. Is that still within your single move, Jacob?
Easily. I can do a mile and around.
Okay, yeah.
He goes supersonic.
Not to mention it was one teleport that took him out, so it'd be one teleport to get him back.
Yep. We're a pretty mobile team. We all have teleports or flies or other things that get us places fast.
Yeah. In that case, I guess I'll just hold my action and wait for them to get back.
Celestial.
Okay. Celestial, as directed, is going to be on crowd control. He is going to attempt to protect people from being trampled and otherwise attempt to calm the crowd.
You're our face.
Again, using a mix of his flight speed, quickness, and move by action to grab people who are under threat of being trampled and otherwise saying, "Everyone stay calm! Move in a calm, orderly fashion. That way, that way, that way."
Okay. You can use persuasion or another social skill that you can make applicable by all means. Intimidation, by all means, you could be approaching them with.
I will use persuasion because I am a good guy.
Okay.
I will total a 17 on persuasion.
So the scene is far out of control at this point. You heard the result that he got on his intimidation. If you're wanting to negate that, you might need higher than a 17. I will say.
I will sacrifice a hero point for a reroll.
Okay, let's get it.
Getting a 19 on the die with that one, I will total a 25.
Okay. As Celestial with a loud boom that maybe he should have been flying with the Blue Angels earlier today, comes back into the scene. Everybody's blown back by the sound of his flight, and then he starts calling out orders. A lot of them start to listen, start to calm down, kind of reassured that that Celestial is here to protect them. And there are still elements, but it's nowhere near as rampant, nowhere near as dangerous of a situation. Blip, unless Mistress Mysterio and Eclipse are kicking in at that point.
I'm waiting on Blip. Basically, now that the obstacle's done, 3 of us are going to do a teamwork when Blip shows up.
Okay.
But the obstacle is going to make it a whole lot harder, so...
Blip will teleport back and
we'll trigger.
She'll taunt him, or you need to get over here and get out of everybody else's way.
So, Brandon, at that point, I trigger. I'm going to basically use my deception to make him believe that Blip is the enemy, and I'm going to gesture for Blip to start going down that hole so that we can draw him away from the crowd. If needed, I will use extra effort to cast an illusion to remake Blip into looking like one of the machines that this guy seems to have a problem with, and then the machine is activating and going down and becoming a real threat down the hole.
Okay.
So I'll start with my deception.
And what senses does your illusion affect? I think you're about to say all, but I want to make sure. Okay.
Jeepers.
The only thing it doesn't cover, actually, hold on. Auditory, tactile, and vision. So it doesn't cover. It doesn't cover smell. I apologize.
Oh,
so
okay.
He won't smell.
Are you sure? Are you sure we shouldn't call you Mysterio?
Oh.
Okay, so I am going to. I have a 27. Wow, I am rolling bad right now.
A 27 is rolling bad? I need to roll bad more often.
Yeah, seriously.
I have a plus 20 on my deception, remember. I've got feats in it and such like that. I do really well with it.
That's what, skill mastery deception or ultimate effort deception?
I have ultimate effort deception.
Then you could have had a 40 right there.
It's true.
Too bad. So sad. So sorry for you. All right. A 27, you say?
I have a 27, yes.
Okay.
I have a fascinate deception. Sorry, fascinating deception. Which, actually, I guess I can activate that. I'm calling that I'm using my fascinate deception to make him, think this and believe this, and he's entranced with this idea, this show.
Okay.
Quickly, you have to save us. They went down the hole. You're right. They're going to hurt us all. You have to go. We'll follow. We'll help.
He seems torn as to what to do and is literally sniffing the air.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do with a 27? I am actually I actually will spend one of my hero points and try and re-roll that.
The worst that you're going to get is a +4.
What the crud? Yeah, I got a 31 instead because I rolled
You rolled
a 2.
a 1,
I rolled a 2.
so that's a 32, right?
32,
Yeah,
yeah.
12.
32.
Okay.
Oh, the hardships of having a +20 in a skill.
With the, I'm calling my Fascinate use as an interaction skill to entrance others.
So okay.
But yeah, I should have used my ultimate effort deception, just got a 40 on it and said, be done with it.
He is still in that same situation, Alice. He is literally smelling the air while looking back and forth, trying to puzzle things out.
Okay. I am now going to. Okay, sure.
Okay. He is going to spend the round uncertain as he's trying to puzzle things out, but is focused on smelling things as he's doing this.
As a reminder,
and Mistress
though,
Mysterio, we are back to you.
Well, as a reminder, right now though, we were enacting a team attack, so we were declaring what each of our panels, mini panels, would look like. But we need to actually take the highest of our rolls, and he fights against that. So if the gravity ends up creating more barbecue smell, he might decide that the barbecue smell is what's keeping him smelling it. So we need the gravity to work and such like that. And then the highest gets a +5 on their roll, and the others are truncated. That's the point of the team attack.
I believe that you are mixing rules. The team attack, you decide, and by all means, this was a team attack. I never was exactly certain on how everybody was working together as a team attack, but
so I'm driving the idea of him, the bad guy going down the hole. Blip comes in as looking like the enemy and is menacing him like Robert was just saying, is taunting the guy and is heading down the hole. I'm redisguising Blip, and then Gravity is shoving stuff in that direction, so that basically it's easier to move in the direction we are asking him to move than it is to go against us. That was the entire statement. But,
so this is more like an aid than a team attack. Team attacks are to overcome resistance. Aid, which your advantage still does cover,
yes, it does,
is just attempting to make somebody's roll better. But
so
in these you are wanting, first of all, you're needing to be within so many for a team attack of degrees. And aid, you can give a certain bonus.
That's true. So I guess we were doing a team aid at that point, which means that they're going to get +5 to their rolls because I have teamwork. So it is their turns to do their thing, and I apologize for mixing up the two. Like you said, we haven't played.
Now they aren't going to get +5. One of them would get +5, as I remember.
I'm giving Blip +5, and
unless you have an advantage that is giving allowing you to pass multiple of them, which I believe is setup.
Yeah, I do not have setup. I do have something else that I can do, but I don't want to spend my other hero point doing it right now. But I'm giving Blip the +5 on the taunt down the hole. I apologize. Like you said, you and I haven't played in a while, so I was trying to remember my two abilities. I should have reread them to clarify between teamwork and aid.
No harm, no foul, and worst case, I mean, you guys have at this point cost him the round, unless something changes on that.
One way or another. I'm good at disabling bad guys. I'm not good at taking them down. I'm good at disabling.
Because he's uncertain what to do, as some senses are telling him one thing and other senses are telling him another thing.
So, Blip, on your taunt roll, on your attempt to get his attention, you're going to get a +5 from me.
I do want to point out
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
illusion is like a robot. The robots themselves wouldn't have a smell, and with everything else in the air, that should especially make it.
Gunpowder, oil, these things definitely all have smells. Metal
That was
itself often has a smell.
Metal definitely smells. But there's
High power electronics and just a lot of electricity to move the hydraulics on motors and things like that.
Yeah, you smell ozone, you smell metal.
Ozone.
Yeah. But let's see how Blip does.
All right. Well, let's see. Deception plus is base 2 plus 5. So
Don't you have taunt?
7 plus. Huh?
You were saying you weren't taking a taunt action. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, he was using a lowercase t, not a capital T on taunt.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
I actually have capital T taunt in my advantages, so my apologies.
Anyway, 2 plus 5 plus 11 for 18.
18. Okay. And what are you doing, apparently, to make yourself sound like a robot, or continue the you look like a robot feel of this? What is the taunt itself, or the deception itself?
She'll just enter in the hole.
Okay.
She doesn't know how these robots talk,
Right.
or if they can.
Are you doing the Mr. Roboto dance?
No, she'll do kind of stiff, but figuring your illusion is going to cover that up. Yep. So she's just going to go down the hole, and figure you're using her as a motion capture to move down the hole.
All right, and Eclipse, anything on this?
Just going to go with the plan and push gravity towards that area. So, like she said, it's easier to head that.
All right, so
hopefully it'll also push smells that way. All smells.
It should pull everything that way.
Yeah, that's my hope, is that it'll pull anything sensory, because the smell in the air, stuff like that. So the scent's gonna go that way.
All right, so Eclipse, go ahead and give us your assistance on this.
Your power roll. Let's go.
If you're trying to directly affect him in the movement, or what?
Well, if he's moving all the breeze and stuff like that, in other words, I'm effectively downwind of him, so he couldn't smell me even if he tried.
Yep.
Agreed.
And that was the thought that I had, was, I hoped all that would come together.
All right, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm rolling for, but I just rolled a natural 16, and so don't know what that.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Is
which power did you want to use to create an effect like that?
The only one that I could safely do without risking hurting anybody would again be the gravity trap.
All right, now are you affecting him with that? Which is the fourth time I'm trying to ask that.
Oh, no, sorry. This would be to pull everything towards the hole.
Okay. So, and what was the deception that you ended up with, Blip?
18 plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a 33.
Okay. He is standing there, like I said. He is uncertain, sniffing the air. Mistress Mysterio, we are back to you. Since all of you basically delayed in a perfect rotation before him, I'm just keeping the initiative order.
That's fine. At this point, though, I am now going to do setup 4. I can transfer the benefits of an interaction skill to an ally. So at this point, I am going to continue my ruse and transfer my deception to my fake robot Blip.
Setup 4, you get to name 4 targets, which was the 4th target was supposed to be Nick.
Yeah, that's true. fourth target was supposed to be Nick, but I guess I can transfer it to all 4. So deception is going to go to all my party members, and I'm going to call out, to him that we need to go catch them and try and basically force our fight into the hole and transfer the fight scene to another area, hoping that if we go down and into the hole, we can at least traverse out of this crowd. So.
Celestial has cleared you a large amount of room, and everybody is literally running away from you at this point. So the crowd is not pressing.
Yeah, but on comms I'm told that he's also mind controlled, so I'm hoping we can go find the mind control target. Or guy. I rolled a 3. This dice generator is rolling terribly today. Like, normally it's a good mix, but today it just can't roll above a 10. I'm going to grab my new dice out. It's going to the dice of shame. So I got a 23 on that deception that I'm passing over to other people.
Okay, but I'm not certain what you're trying to pass. Because you can use your deception of fainting with setup. Because you have taunt, you can use your demoralize on him.
Oh, I apologize.
Stuff like this.
I'm doing daze.
What you're describing, well, daze you can't pass somebody.
You can pass the feint. Yeah, you can pass the feint to him, and all of our attacks would have. He would be half defenses.
Okay. I thought that I could pass my daze deception. Oh, that's because I'm passing the feint. I apologize. You're right, Jacob. So yeah, I'm doing that. It gets me the same effect basically as me saying doing the daze. But yeah, I'm passing the deception. I'm passing the feint over to everybody. So.
Okay, and so that's a 23, you're saying?
Yeah, I grabbed out real dice because the random dice rollers just suck in there. It's going in the dice of shame corner.
The dice of shame.
Usually it's a good mix of ups and of highs and lows. Today it just doesn't want to roll anything higher than a 10.
Okay.
There's nothing better than real dice.
Yep, true. Grabbing real dice.
More real dice.
Yes, always more. You always need more dice.
My dice box even comes with a built-in dice tower.
Alice was looking at more dice yesterday when we were at the comic shop, saying exactly that. I know I have lots of dice, but I need more dice.
I also reminded him that I don't ever have him buy me jewelry. My jewelry is dice, therefore he's saving a lot of money.
All right.
That is practical.
Exactly.
So, Alice, with your thing... you do have him hesitating, and so he is currently at half defenses to your party.
Awesome. I've confused him.
Yes. So, defenses never seem to be the issue, though.
No.
That people keep connecting with him. Eclipse, you are up. He has not moved. He's sniffing the air. He's definitely considering. He looks at Mistress Mysterio a bit. As she's calling that you guys have to go down the hole.
Eclipse doesn't necessarily enjoy the situation, but he's going to try to go with it and fly down into the rabbit.
Okay, Celestial. Your team seems to be quickly going down the hole. The groundhog does not seem to really be buying what's going on, but is paused in thought, and you definitely have clean shot at him if you wanted to take one.
Seeing that he has a clean shot, Celestial is going to fly at full speed to effectively do a move through on him. So he's going to power through him from behind, sparing him from the back.
Okay. And is that the charge action in this one? That you get the +1 to your effect?
I believe it's called Slam.
Slam. Okay. Is there any power attack or any accurate attack, anything like that going on?
Yes, considering he's at half defenses to me, I am going to power attack.
Nice.
And I rolled a natural 20. Womp, womp, womp.
Nice.
Okay. So what is our total effect that I'm resisting?
Okay, so let's see. Strength is 12. Power attack makes it 14. The critical makes it 19, plus 1 for the slam, total of 20 ranks of effect.
So a 35 to resist.
Correct.
Okay, so he is down at a 16. So you do take him out in one shot with that.
He's all looking around so confused and boing in the back of the head.
So go ahead and give us our panel as you strike the hobo from behind.
Hobo
So yeah,
beard.
he smacks the boar from behind, burying him slightly into a furrow in the ground as he slows his momentum. Celestial just stands over him. Are we done? A fist ready just in case.
Go ahead.
MM glides over it, looks down. Good night, Greasy.
No hero point generation for that.
I didn't think it would. It was just funny. I wanted to say that earlier when I was going to knock him out, but I looked at my...
It's a good groaner. I mean, there's bad groaners and there's good groaners.
I wanted to make a good groaner. That was my point. I didn't expect a hero point from that one, but I did want to say that.
And yes, he buried into the, he's using his burrowing power to make a groundhog, shaped and sized, indentation into the soil here, but is showing no signs of getting up. You guys are able to clean up the area a bit, help the people, get your guys out of the hole. The hole goes back for a ways. And comes up several blocks away. You guys don't find a mind controller there. I'm just, since we're one shot and limited on time, I'm trying to, circumvent some of that. And so you guys, what's the next scene that you guys want to involve yourselves in here?
Celestial is going to suggest calling the authorities. We have Aegis or Shield or anything in this campaign?
Oh, you want to bring in normal government authorities, not deal with it with your superpowered selves?
Well, he's trying to go by the book.
Other people's thoughts?
Since this happened out in public, pretty much rendition's not going to work.
Right, okay. Brandon, you're up for making that organization up. I never actually named an Aegis type group. So I vote Veronica Veers heads it.
Oh my God, no! Why would Veronica Veers head that? Just because
it's
her name
Aegis.
was Aegis
I was making a joke.
Our
yes.
campaign.
You say Aegis?
That was my NPC, one of my NPCs in a superhero campaign. Basically, the Charlie to the PC's Angels. And
but yeah, if that's what people want to interact with is the authorities, I'm good with that. I want to try and figure out what is going on with this guy's head, though. That's my priority while they're gonna go talk to authorities at the moment, because I'm kind of concerned about this guy's brain.
Okay. Do you have anything that lets you look into his brain? Or how do you plan on interacting with his brain? Scalpels and electrodes?
No, I'm looking through my powers right now, trying to figure out.
Blip or Eclipse, anything? Not necessarily with this guy's brain,
but trying to find out if there's, what's around the area that the hole starts at.
It was a large grassy area where the where you guys, the whole parade and such was going by, the center of festivities by the previous UN building, and the other end of the hole is about 2 miles away down in Dockland.
Celestial?
That was the area I wanted to check out. So she'll, wander the area, looking through buildings with her remote sensing.
Alice, you had a question for Celestial?
Yeah, Celestial, why do you think he was being mind controlled?
He didn't seem to be listening to me at all. I mean, this is one of our fallen. I remember training with this guy. He didn't recognize me. He wouldn't listen to me.
He was drunk.
Celestial is going to scan over his body, looking at him, looking through him. Like any devices, or he is looking for evidence. Trying to find what's going on with.
Okay. You give a scan to him, and you know that Groundhog has a small healing factor, and that his body has gotten heavily damaged in the 3 years since you dealt with him. He has wounds that make it look like he has been tortured or similar, far more than the explosion at the UN you think would have done to him. You don't find anything inserted into him as a physical component of a mind control or something like that. But it is damage that his healing factor has not been able to keep up with, and because of that, he bears massive scars, surface scars and tissue scars throughout his body. You can see parts where he has been surgically operated on, and that he's been obviously under a lot since the time that you have seen him last.
Yeah, he'll relay this information to everyone else. Like, he's been surgically altered. He's been tortured, interrogated. He's gone through a lot.
I think we unintentionally interrupted Robert, so why don't you finish with him? But after that, I have something. All right.
Robert, down at the, looking around on the docks and portal visioning around, go ahead and give me your perception roll.
And sorry about that, Robert.
Hold on. Sorry, don't worry about it. 15.
It's a big number based on the sound of the die. You spend a while perceptioning around as you teleport through the area that he started his burrowing tunnel in, and you don't find anything that immediately sets your hackles off as something having been immediately associated with this. No AIM facility or something like that you're able to portal in and find.
Okay, sorry. The 15 was the roll.
Oh, okay.
Her perception's 8, so 23 would be the total.
Yeah, the same thing is that you're not really finding something that you think would immediately be associated with him, unless perhaps the piles of bottles and alleys might have been his.
Are they the same stuff he was drinking? Is it all Thunderbird, or does he have something special he likes?
You do find a place where it looks like there's a lot of a certain type, and there's like a little homeless setup and such that looks like it's been used for a little while, that the individual has not been rousted out by the local officers.
All right. She'll inform the rest of the group of this, that it looks like he's been on the streets for a little while, and I'm guessing that word got to him somehow of the ruckus, and that may have been what was needed to send him off. Is this area where he was hanging out a homeless area? Just by, we're homeless naturally.
There are other homeless individuals that hang out in the area. His he was not part of one of the little communities that they can form, but was kind of living rough on his own.
All right, she'll ask around to see if there was, if anybody, how long ago did this guy show up?
Sure, you can start asking around. Do you have any familiarity on the streets, or reason that random people are going to trust you that might not immediately say, "Oh, superhero, I should trust that person," basically?
Other than, let's see, persuasion 2 and good looks.
Okay, well, sometimes people
wants to do it.
People like pretty girls. Yep, that's fine. So go ahead and give me that with your persuasion with your attractive. It's not all that hard, but a lot of times the communities are insular and aren't immediately wanting to talk to outsiders.
How much does attractive add?
Do you have 1 rank or 2 ranks of attractive?
1 rank.
Plus 2.
So it's 4 plus 2 plus 4. So that's 10.
That's a DC 10. People like to, some of the guys like to come up and talk to you and such, but none of them, when you start asking about, they start to say that they don't talk about their own.
All right, she'll pull out a 10. She has wealth.
She has wealth?
Well, it's not. It's well off. So
yeah, at any level of wealth, by all means. Okay.
Yeah.
You can use a little bit of your money, and they'll open up a little bit to you. That he'd been around for about 2-3 months. He moved in. He come by every once in a while, talk to us, but he lives on his own. All of us learned to avoid him. He ain't never done nothing, but he didn't like being around us too much, around anybody that I saw.
All right, well, thank you very much. And she'll hand him a 20. That was fairly effective.
It's the old saying, but you can get further with a smile and a gun, than you can with a smile. And this one's, you can get further with a smile, a pretty girl, and a 20 than you can just with a smile and a pretty girl.
Anyway, she'll okay, he's been on the street for a while, at least a couple of months.
I actually not Blip. Eclipse, you haven't talked in a while. If you want to do stuff before I do.
Yeah, I was trying a couple times, but on the other side of the hole where apparently Groundhog had entered, over there, Eclipse is going to use his special senses where he can sense through things and tell in great detail what is within a large area, trying to see if there's anything that would give him any kind of clues.
Okay. That you could have been involved in Blip's same search as she was going around and just looking into things. And neither one of you come up with anything nefarious on that end, just the pile bottles and such. That you do track down a homeless area, like I said, that others recognize him in the area, and are somewhat concerned when you're talking to them if he did anything, if he's okay, stuff like that. Blip gets some information just that he has been out for a little while.
Is there any CCTV in the area?
There are some closed circuits, yeah.
Find out who they belong to. Give. She doesn't have any police standing or anything like. Well, the group might. And see if we can get at least. He's been there for the last 2 months, so if we could get the last 2 months of video would be nice. But or at least have it examined. Odds are it's probably going to be like the last month, or maybe even only the week. But get that kind of first. See who owns those CCTVs.
Okay. So Blip is trying to get into a longer investigation, as you guys are. That Mistress Mysterio and Celestial are back, more dealing with the immediate situation and such. Mistress Mysterio, did you have anything on getting into the mind or something like
Yes.
that? You were talking with Celestial at one point.
Yes, I do. I am going to be using my skills. I have expertise magic, which gives me an idea that I can, see the general signs of magic uses and such like that on questioning. I also, basically, my intention is if he's basically safely restrained at this point, we believe, in a reliable way, I would like to see if we can rouse him, and I will attempt to utilize my deception daze effect to hypnotize him and see if I can use persuasion to slowly talk to him and try and get better insight into what is going on with his mind. I am going to play the hypnotist.
Okay. By all means, at your Millennium Sentinel base, you guys probably have restraints for, superpowered individuals. If you want to take him from here, from what I heard, you guys were waiting for and contacting the authorities to get him.
My vote is if we're contacting the authorities, it's probably still better to get him somewhere where he is rendered no longer a threat for the authorities to come and take him. So my vote would still be to take him to the Millennium Sentinel base. If anybody objects, I'm okay with that. But that way, the authorities will show up and he will not be, able to just start up anything again.
Yeah, I have no objection.
Okay.
Blip and Eclipse, you guys good with that?
Have at it.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, then I guess we will have superpowered restraints set up when I will hypnotize him. I've got, all the appropriate skills, basically. I've got deception, I've got insight, I've got magic expertise, and I've got persuasion. My lowest skill on that is going to be a 12 on all of those. Highest is going to be a 20. And if attractive works, it's going to be a 24.
Attractive does not work on hypnotism.
That's fine with me.
While she's doing her hypnosis thing, Celestial would like to go down into our storage and look through Groundhog's boxed up stuff and try to pull out something he remembers that Groundhog liked, some memento or his favorite thing. Maybe we can bring him out of his funk.
Okay. You start going through Groundhog, aka Jasper Shote's stuff, and searching around, and I'll let you try and think about what that might be. You being the member of the new Millennium Sentinels that has some level of connection with him because of your longtime association with the team due to your father. Alice, over with you and your hypnotism. Why don't you go ahead and start telling me how this is working?
Okay. So I am going to go into full magician mode. I'm going to take my top hat off, and from it, I'm going to start pulling. I'm going to basically start pulling scarves slowly, and I'm going to basically be moving them in a circular motion as I pull them out. Colors keep changing, and it starts basically. I go faster and faster, and it becomes this wheel that he's looking into, and I'm just keeping him focused on the sound of my voice as we are going. Listen to my voice. You want to relax. You're not in any danger. I'm here to help you. You are in a safe place. I got a 19 on my die. My lowest interaction skill that you'd want me to that I could use would be and you said attractive doesn't work, so actually that's a +8, so that's a 27 would be my lowest skill modifier. It goes up from there. I can add 16 or I can add 20, or I can add 10. But my weakest would be adding 8, which would adding 9 to that is 27, or 19 to that is 27.
And what skill are you saying that this should be used off of?
Well, I have expertise in magic, stage magic and otherwise, as you know. But so I was going to hopefully use magic, which would be a plus 16 to that, would be a 35. But if you want me to use something like persuasion, which I'm okay with, that'd be a 27.
I actually think that this could easily fall into your very specific specialty of deception.
Sure, if that's deception, I will actually choose to use my other hero. Nah, I'll just have. I rolled already, so that's one short anyway. So that was a 39.
Okay. So he quickly begins to fall under the sway of the dance of 10,000 veils.
Awesome.
I believe that's an old Donald Duck reference.
I think you might be right. So
I believe that's a biblical reference.
It might be. I just remember a Donald Duck cartoon when I was growing up where
I know that as a Shahrazad reference as well. But so yeah, I'm going to ask him. For the sake of the one shot, and we want to progress to the next scene, I'm going to ask him basically what he thinks we're in danger from, why people need to run. What is he afraid of for everyone's safety? What's he trying to protect us from, kind of thing.
Okay. It's the dance of 7 veils. Gotcha.
7 veils, yeah.
There it is.
And
for Donald Duck.
Okay.
And
the veils dances.
He's a bit more sober, a bit more focused now, and he's responds to you and is it's like I've seen the danger that they bring, a place ruled by the cruel iron fist of those mechanical monstrosities, a nation that has become armed.
Bum, bum, bum.
Where is this place, and how did you come about being there? Were you a prisoner?
I've been a prisoner. I've been an experiment. I've lived through it all and escaped. I found my way back.
And I'm taking notes, trying to actually I'm going to tap it so that my comm is open so that people can hear, but I'm not wanting to switch conversations because I don't want to break this entrancement. So they can hear what's going on with us, but I'm not specifically talking to my team. And so if anybody wants to add anything, I'll hear it at least. What made you a prisoner and experiment there? What happened? What happened from when you were a sentinel to becoming a prisoner? Who took you?
I went into the UN, but I came out somewhere else, fallen through. Then I tried to find authority, to find order, but all I found was a mechanical master.
Did anyone else go there with him? Was he the only one of the Sentinels?
Were other Sentinels?
I'm the only one that I'm going to directly answer other people because you've already made your intention clear. Yeah. I'm the only one that I know of. There were those that fought against the tyranny, but when they were found, they were wiped out. They were taken. They were experimented on. For me, they tried to find a secret to healing for the elite.
Who are the elite?
The masters of armed, those that give them their orders. It's a shadow group. I never was able to learn. After I escaped, I was trying to track them down, but then I found myself back here.
How did you
I
escape?
I thought that it had only been some sort of nightmare until I saw it on the news, until I saw it in the store window. The cameras, the machines. They were here. They were here at the UN. They were where the attack was. Their rise to power had come.
How did
It
you
was all
escape?
it was all going wrong, just like I had seen, just like I found out. And soon they will rise again, and we're all going to be victims of it. And then on the door, you guys hear pound, pound, pound.
I'll go see who that is.
How did you escape, and how did you get back to New York?
I escaped through just one time when I was being transferred. I wasn't as weak as they thought I was. I was able to break loose. How I got back here, I don't know. I fell again. I fell through. I'm not certain. I'm not certain how. I didn't even realize it at first, but I found myself out near a small town, and everything was more like what I remembered. And he starts to cry. There wasn't the fear in people's eyes. They still flew the flag. They flew the flag in Massachusetts, and he's totally crying at this point. Jacob, you head over and you see out at the front door is that same General Taylor, and there is a big robot standing behind him. You guys called the authorities, and armed has come knocking at your door.
Celestial will open the door. General.
Well, it's good to see you, son. I do understand that you have something that the United States government is of great interest in. This terrorist that did attack our demonstration this day.
He is not a terrorist. He is a confused individual. It's Groundhog, one of the supposedly slain Millennium Sentinels for 3 years ago. He's alive. We're trying to figure out what happened to him.
Well, that is most unfortunate to hear. That those that we believed had gone to an eternal rest of peace in heaven might be brought back to serve a different master in this day and age.
He's not serving anyone. He's confused.
I'm certain that an investigation into that matter will find the truth, whether confusion, malice, or someone giving him new orders might be behind this. And I think that it's best, as you have said, that he needs to be given over to the proper authority so that we can begin such investigations.
And the proper authorities, General. The military has no say in this matter. This is a police matter.
Well, he was there attacking at a demonstration. The president has agreed that the newly found armed division should be given rights over this, as we are the enforcement over superpowered individuals as a member of the National Guard, and that we are the ones that he should be remanded to.
Eclipse speaks up and says, "Excuse me, General, who did he actually attack? He came out of nowhere and made a speech, but attacked nobody."
We have numerous people that have been needed to head to the emergency room. We have no fatalities at this time, but there are a number of different people that have been injured. Plus, the president felt that this individual was directly coming for her, as many witnesses can. You all called for the local authorities that can respond, and if this is the individual you say it is, Groundhog, certainly local police forces are of no equipment to deal with such an individual.
Celestial is going to look the general up and down, with giving him the eye. Is like, Is he under any control or anything that he can assess?
All right, sure. Go ahead and give me your insight.
24 for Eclipse.
Okay.
18 for Celestial.
You both have the feeling that General Taylor is an impassioned man of beliefs, but you don't see anything that would make you think those beliefs are other than his own making.
Are comms on or open with you guys as well, or are you guys having a closed line conversation there?
Considering you have the comms open for the talk, he hasn't shut them off yet.
Okay.
General, I must insist that as this man is a United States citizen, he be remanded to proper civilian police and not to military jurisdiction. It is illegal and unconstitutional for the military to act in such.
Well, I do have a signed executive order that has been dealt with.
An executive order is not a law. An executive order is a suggestion, and it does not supersede the constitutional rights granted to the citizens of the United States.
Oh, this individual will receive trial by all means. We do not mean to abrogate such a thing.
And I am certain, with her history of being pro-superheroes, that President Munez would be disheartened to hear that you would take a. I move away from Groundhog because I don't want to just upset him. That you would take a valiant hero that fell and may be in need of medical attention as a prisoner. What kind of symbol would that be for our world, for our Earth, for our world of healing, and the message that she sends of coming together? Her very speech today. This is no super villain.
So, Alice, I keep giving you the time to talk. You literally stopped me when I was talking, and then you paused.
I apologize. Go ahead.
By all means, we do not mean to stop him from receiving proper medical attention. That is something that we are very concerned of. I am unaware that this is a medical facility where you have him held within.
If you want to if you want him to receive medical attention, you should bring medical aid and not a armed robot to our door. He is clearly schizophrenic and has paranoia towards anything, any robotic creatures or mechanized creatures or whatever you want to call your machine. So if you truly want to help, you would not be bringing that to our door. You would be bringing medical assistance. General.
Agreed.
If medical assistance is believed to be of utmost concern, moving that individual from the site where he has fallen can often cause many problems, he goes on. And that is, medical concern seems to be something that you all are worried about now, but did not in the moment. As for my companion here, well, this is a high-tech asset that we are using to ensure compliance and safety of not only citizens but of our prisoner.
A machine has no conscience. A machine does the will of the zealot that controls it. Or worse, when it decides to take on a mind of its own, it has no conscience. I do not trust...
Situation untenable. The machine raises up and just shoots at you. Not you, Alice, but Celestial. And its eyes have turned from regular to red. So everybody can go ahead and give me initiatives, but it does have the drop as...
Celestial gets a 27.
Oh, wow. That's pretty sweet.
19 for Eclipse.
I rolled a natural 1. So it seems
Hold on.
like... It seems like real dice or digital dice today, my dice in general are not rolling well. I rolled 119, everything else has been below a 7. I haven't gotten above a 7. I have a total of 9, Brandon, with my nat 1.
And Blip?
And Blip. 12 total.
Okay. Celestial is going to be our first, but first we get our cheap shot. It raises up its hand, fires off, and I think even with you being defenseless, that's going to be a miss. He's at a 14. Or vulnerable, I forget which one. That hits?
If I'm vulnerable, I have a 13, so...
Okay, that is a 27 on your resist check.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Okay, I total a 22, so I believe I am stunned?
Bruised and dazed, I think is what it is, because that is a failure by 5 or more. So
yeah.
As you guys are doing this, and Celestial, you were the mouthpiece for Alice, and the droid, all of a sudden its eyes go red, its hand raises up, it fires, and Celestial has that awesome panel of breaking through wall after wall after wall in the base and such. He flies right by, not through the room that the interrogation's going on, but down the hallway, and Mistress Mysterio is like looking over her shoulder at what the heck just happened. Celestial, you are the first into the action, even after getting rocketed back.
Still half buried in a wall, he looks down the chain of walls, the holes that he's gone through. His eyes glow, and he attempts to sear off the hand of the robot. Basically, I'm doing a disarm.
Okay.
And I total a 23 to hit.
That is certainly a hit.
My solar vision is damage 12.
Damage 12, okay. Okay, he is at a 24 on it. So damage 12, that is a 29 is what he was going to need. So you have done exactly what he did to you. Now, are you attempting to, do you say disarm? Are you wanting to wound him, or are you trying to...
I was attempting to disarm him, so basically I was attempting to remove that hand's weapons.
Okay.
Disarm in the most literal sense, taking off the arm.
Okay. So the fire, the eye beams go right into the hand. It begins to spark and smoke. There's a small explosion in the hand. You have done some obvious damage to it and negated the blaster that it's got. And next we have Eclipse. Eclipse, I think that you were standing there because you decided to be in the conversation as well.
Yes, sir. Well, seeing what's going on and believing something is genuinely wrong with this.
Oh, hold on, actually. Before Eclipse, I'm sorry, because I just went armed. The armed droid is going again. I was skipping over him because it was...
Oh,
no! It kind of cocks its head like it doesn't understand what just happened, and then up its back comes up missile launchers of little small missiles, and they are going to start firing down the hall towards Celestial. So these I think are going to miss on this round. That is only a 14.
Yes, that will miss.
Okay. They miss on this round. The creature, the droid is standing there. Eclipse, it is your action.
Alrighty, Eclipse. Looking at the area, is there enough suitable loose junk that I could use, basically, to attempt to wrap this thing up?
Well, I was just floating through a whole bunch of walls, so that I'm sure there's debris from that.
You guys normally, I'm certain, have a Roomba, and so it's a nice clean base. But yes, there have been a few walls that have been taken out.
Nah, man, we don't trust robots. No Roombas.
If we had a Roomba, Mag could spy on our base. I don't think that's a good idea.
Don't trust those that Liberty Legion in Philadelphia.
Actually, I guess it would mean that we could ask for backup, so that might be a good idea after all.
Oh, I'd be fine with a Roomba as long as it's remote controlled and not self-starting.
All right, but yes, there's plenty of debris after some walls were remodeled.
And the general, the guy that's the one that's with the robot, I'm hoping he's shocked at what's going on or not expecting.
He is totally blown away by what has suddenly occurred. Yes.
Awesome, so I can ignore him for a moment. I'm going to go for Gravity Tomb on the droid, making my roll of 15 plus 10. It's 25 to hit him.
That's definitely a hit.
Alrighty, it's initially going to get a dodge check versus 20 to try to avoid being encased.
Can he use strength as an alternative, or is it just dodge this time?
Dodge is the initial, but if
Okay.
he fails and he's getting entombed, it's strength or damage to get.
As you bring all this stuff up towards him, it goes like analyzing, and then its boots fire off, knocking it backwards a little bit as all that stuff comes together into the tomb, and so it is outside of that.
Oh, this effect, he is the gravity center. It's staying on him.
Oh, okay. But yes, he has made his dodge on it.
Okay, that's fine. Keep saving every turn. That's it for me.
Okay. After Eclipse, we have Blip, who it seems like was probably somewhere else, but as a teleporter, being wherever you want to be is not hard.
She'll teleport in and assess the situation.
You have a giant robot that Eclipse seems to be trying to attack with garbage. There's many holes in the walls. Celestial is nowhere to be seen, though we get a quick cameo of Jacob's family, I guess. And the Mistress Mysterio is not yet here. The General Taylor, who was up on stage earlier today, is there, but seems quite shocked at what is going on.
Blip will then move over to him and is like, I think you need to get out of the way.
Anything else?
Well, she's already used her. Well, could have been. She's already used her teleport once, so she can't do it again and take somebody.
Okay. So, Mistress Mysterio, having just heard Celestial rocket down the hall, and now seeing missiles starting to fly down the hall after him.
Yep. You guys will. So, the viewers will see behind me a black and white circus tent appear. I take a step back. I disappear. Right where you guys are fighting, another circus tent appears. I step out into it. And that's my instant. So that is actually part of my move. I am going to be using Polymorphic Panacea. If the general wants a new dog, we should at least try and teach the dog new tricks. I am going to turn this into a dog. Oh, nice! I definitely hit. I have 2 points away from I have an 18, so I'm 2 points away from a crit.
That's a hit.
Yep. So it needs to make me a Fortitude DC 22.
You start that and just don't feel it at all take hold on that.
Okay.
And Eclipse, we are back to the top. General Taylor, as he begins to scramble away, is like he calls out, armed 1139, stand down, depower, and the creature is not responding at all to it. So Celestial.
Celestial, noting that the general has just given a order that it is ignoring, does the right thing and gets the general out of the air.
Okay.
He flies out, gets him like 2 or 3 blocks away, and then makes his way back. You'll be safe here, General.
Okay. And gone before he has a word to say, because you're certain that he's a big windbag.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to what he has to say.
That was my next action.
The missiles that he fired off at you continue to track after you as you are flying away. And that is a 23.
Oh, that'll hit.
Okay, that's a DC 25.
And I will get a 26.
Oh, well, that is good.
I'm sorry, a 25 with my -1 because of the...
All right.
Which means I just make it.
You just make it. That's what I was trying to remember, is in this system, I'm setting DC, you're trying to make that. So, awesome. You take him on the chest as you are attempting to fly around, but you've luckily dropped the general off already, so they're not going off on him. Luckily in quotes, depending on your feeling at the moment. Then he, for his action, it speaks like every good enemy robot needs to do to announce what its action, and goes analyzing threats and turns, looks at. Let's start with Eclipse, who struck at him. And it raises up its other hand and fires off, and this cloud of gas fires out at you. So we have a 23 to hit.
Okay, dodge, I assume?
Yes, it is a ranged attack, so dodge.
I rolled an 11, so no good. What do I need to roll?
Go ahead and make a fortitude test.
Total 20.
Total of 20. Okay, you are coughing, you are wheezing, but you are able to throw up enough gravity to bring the cloud down before it really gets to you. So other than being minorly inconvenienced, you are unaffected. And with that, we are moving on to you, Eclipse.
Alrighty. To make this a little bit more one-sided in our favor, Eclipse is going to turn on his localized gravity, impeding movement 4 for anybody in the air within 120 feet of him, except it is selective, so it will only be the...
Okay.
Good.
And Blip, you have this robot that's probably more than twice your size. That one hand seems to be damaged, sparking a bit, a little smoke coming out of it. Another hand, it just launched a gas attack out of. Celestial has run the general out. Mistress Mysterio is there, and she's like, "I'll make quick work of this," and then it had no effect. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, fizzled. I got another
idea.
Is there space for a pilot inside there? She's looking inside it with her portals, her remote sensing. You
checked earlier, and you did not see one when you had plenty of time on the 3 ones that were up on stage. You guys never saw any pilots.
No. Space for a pilot.
Space for a pilot, there is, by all means. If it's twice the size of a human, there could be pilots in them.
All right. Well, Go ahead.
When you have analyzed them, you didn't find any place that they were.
No. Okay, so
He wants to tell us.
I
He
understand.
wants to become the pilot.
No, there's no cockpits in them. I understand. Not if they could hold a cockpit, if it's big enough to hold a cockpit, but if there's one there. No. Both you and Celestial came up with nothing when you guys were looking for them.
All right, she'll attempt to take out the other hand.
Okay, and how are you doing that?
We didn't hear you.
Unarmed attack, bludgeon. So let's see, what is that? Unarmed is 8 plus 10 for 18.
18 is a hit. And what am I resisting on? Just standard toughness?
Standard toughness, yeah.
All right, and how hard of an effect is this? What's the DC?
The DC is 24.
24. Okay. He comes up with a 20. I'll go ahead and on that hand, I'm going to give him a it's the -2 version. So he's basically taken a -2 on the effect as well as the accuracy because you didn't beat him by that much. What is the term for it? It's
Impaired.
the level 1. Impaired. There we go. Impaired on that. As you come up and you whack at it, Mistress Mysterio.
Okay. I take my top hat off. I punch my other hand through the top hat, and suddenly the top hat becomes 2 pieces and turns into 2 rings in my hand. I start spinning them in the air. I'm going to be readying my action of animate object. I have 25 tons on that with accurate +2. I am going to ready my action so that the next time it shoots missiles, I will make it jump through hoops to jump it right back at it.
Okay.
Glad you approved,
And Celestial, we are back up to you.
All right. As Celestial is flying in, his eyes are going to once again glow. I am going to be using my last hero point to get an alternate effect on my Celestial attack powers. I would like to make this a weaken against toughness that affects objects. So
Okay.
basically what I'm doing is using my solar vision to cut off his armored plates. I will total a 24 to hit.
Okay.
And it is a weaken 12 attack against his toughness. Like I said, affects object.
Just reading on it real quick.
As he doesn't have a fortitude save because it's an automaton, I'm guessing it would normally go up against its toughness.
Yeah.
And the difference between my attack and your save is how much toughness it loses.
Yep.
I think we need to play M&M more than we have been. Like, I've gotten like 5 one-shots in the last year and a half. So, Jacob, you need
I
to
love
make sure...
M&M.
Yeah, so do I. So, Jacob, you need to make sure that we're running it more often again, because like 5 one-shots in a year and a half, and then other than that, our last campaign was over 5 years ago of it. So.
Okay.
I've gotten 1 or 2 one-shots other than this one. He ends up at a 30 on his resistance.
Okay.
So, as Celestial flies
plates.
back in, and is trying to scythe off the sheets of armor on the thing, There's just
I don't know what
obvious
they-
effect.
I don't know what they made this thing out of, but I can't cut through it.
Aye. And it is back. The missiles have hit, so I don't need to worry about those. That is done. Having just been bludgeoned by Blip, it turns and a bright light flashes out of its chest at Blip right in the local area. So.
And there's no missile to this time?
Nope.
I can redirect with? Okay.
Alright, that is an auto hit, also known as a crit.
He's been shooting missiles all this
Interpose.
time, and suddenly he decides, I'm just not going to shoot missiles anymore. Darn it.
I use my reaction to interpose.
Okay. This is going to be a fortitude of DC 25, I think, because we start at base 10 for effects, right?
I roll 30.
Yeah. I didn't think that you were going to be as fearful as some of the others might be.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So the bright light goes off. All of a sudden, Celestial's there, pushing Blip out of the way, and just gives it a hard stare. Eclipse, we are back to you.
Eclipse is going to move to keep within 60 feet of him, but try to be behind him, and go right back to trying to encase this garbage in garbage.
Okay.
Brandon, I would like to spend my hero point to interrupt, to give Eclipse something really nice to actually encase with, if you don't mind. I'd like to take an action.
Since you held an action, I'll let you with the hero point abort to that.
Sure, I'll abort to that.
Basically.
And I am going to, so at that point I see that the thing's not throwing any missiles. I bring my two rings together, interchange them, interlock them. I throw them up in the air, and you see a horizontal wall appear, a big slab appear, right over the thing for you to smash with. I can create 125 cubic feet. I do not need anything near that, but I am creating hat trick. And that is my unreliable, but I made my unreliable roll, Brandon. So I am fine. I made it 30.
Okay.
So I am going to create a nice thick block. Let's make it an Acme hammer, because an Acme anvil, because you do see anvils in the circus. So a big Acme anvil appear. The
strong men need something to beat on.
Exactly. So the two rings, interlocking rings, fly into the air over the robot and turn into a huge Acme anvil right where his gravity starts to form. There's something to smash with.
Go ahead and give us your team attack roll here, Alice. And are you guys
going to do the 1812 Anvil Overture?
Does she have theme music?
I don't have it. Sorry. I have the circus song, but I don't have the anvil one. I apologize. Do you have it?
Da, 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 da,
There you go. Thank you.
da, 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 da.
I rolled 16 on my die. Yes.
Alice, what is your create rank?
My create rank is 7.
Okay, and Eclipse, what is your effect rank of the power you're using?
10.
Was that a 10?
He said 10, yes.
Okay, it came out as N. So I was pretty certain that translated 10. So we can use these two attacks together.
Yay.
So Alice, go ahead and give me your roll.
I rolled a 16 on my die, so that's plus 10, 26.
Okay, so that sounds like it's going to be a plus 5.
My dice roll started turning around.
Bonus because you have teamwork.
Yes, I do have teamwork.
Okay, so that will be to the effect, not to the accuracy of the attack. Accuracy is not the big problem most of the time.
Accuracy is for me. I get accuracy. The accuracy is not bonused.
Oh, no. You get a plus 5 to your check. That's what it's doing. It's not immediately upping. So you only get a plus 2 bonus on the attack that you're using. 3 or more provides... Okay, Alice, what did you say you rolled?
I rolled a 26 total.
26, 31. Okay, that does sound like it'll be +3. So, +5 to the effect. You can go ahead and roll to hit.
Alrighty, I rolled a 16 using power
That's
attack
hit.
scene. Oh, okay. Well, that's going to make with the -5 for power attack, the DC is going to be 20.
You are only going to be able to power attack for 2, otherwise your power will get too big for her create to have helped.
And my bonus that I'm giving you gives you more than what the rest of that power attack will give you.
Okay, then I'll just limit it to 2, making my default then 22 plus whatever I get.
So,
and that's for the dodge check to get away from it.
oh. He's got a good roll on dodge, but not that good. So, what is the effect that we are having here with this?
Hindered, immobile, or paralyzed, depending on degree.
So what does the panel look like? You have a big Acme anvil, that's oversized Acme anvil. That looks really natural, like a real metal anvil. It's subtle, looks natural.
I will be heavily focusing to pull that one to slam into its feet, on top of anything else I can gather from the area to clutter up its body to prevent it from being capable of moving as much as possible.
Okay. You bring a bunch of stuff around. You start clogging its vent ports and such like that. The anvil smashes into its foot, bringing it to ground, staying impacted on its foot. And even though this thing should be able to lift the anvil without a problem, for some reason it just seems to not be able to get it up today.
Heavily on him? No, is it weighing heavily on him?
Yes, it is exactly that.
As Tony Stark would say, it's having performance problems.
Yeah.
By the way, as you guys can see, I am not great at direct damage, but I'm really good at disabling, I'm really good at enabling. So working with me is good for you.
And Blip, we are up to you.
All right, Blip is going to do a quick in and out. She's got teleport turnabout and 4 miles of range, so within this area she can easily get in and move to a distance. And it's just a regular another martial attack. 15 plus 8 for 23.
That's a hit.
DC 24.
Okay, DC of 24. Aye, Blip comes up from behind and smacks him in the head, teleporting in, and it's a little bit canted off to the side at this point, obviously having taken some level of damage from that. And then Blip is gone somewhere, but location unknown. Blip, Mistress Mysterio. You did yours Celestial.
Okay, seeing that his last attack was ineffective, but seeing that it's immobilized from the
It is immobilized. Yes.
Excellent. So that'll help a bit. Celestial's just going to come right down on it, and he is going to punch away at it with his hyper punching ability. So yeah, he's going to fly in and just super speed,
like an ADD kid going to town, hyper punching.
I will total a 25. This is a rank 12 multi-attack, so the additional damage based on how much I hit it.
Nice.
Okay. If I just hit it, I believe there is no additional damage. If I hit it by 5, there is +2 ranks. If I hit it by 3 degrees, which is by 10, then I get +5 to my.
Alright. If successful, resistance check DC by 2 for 2 degrees of success, which is what you are. Yes, so plus 2. So we are at a 14 damage effect?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, well, at a 33, he is able to shrug you off, even though the teleporting martial artist just got a good shot on him.
What is this thing made of?
It's anti-celestial, whatever that it is.
Anti-celestial unobtainium, clearly.
Jacob, my die likes you. What can I say? Whenever you're there,
that's fine, man. That's fine. It makes it exciting.
One question. It's not what it's made of, it's what it's going to be.
And we are back to it. It as it's goes through, it goes scorched earth policy, and all of a sudden a port on its shoulder opens up, and a large missile basically comes up, and it just explodes it right there. So it's going to go ground zero. Blip is out of this, but everybody else is going to get caught into it. So first, we're going to go with a DC 22 reflex save. Or dodge.
Okay, dodge.
If you have evasion...
17 plus that. 4 is 22.
Can Blip...
17 plus 4 is 21.
Evasion gives you plus 2 for every rank, right?
You're correct. I apologize.
Awesome. Thank you.
No, plus 2 plus 5, Alice.
Oh, plus 2 plus 5. Awesome. I have a... Let me check my total here.
Can Blip spend her hero point to open a gate? Hopefully near two people.
Celestial is in melee with it. I believe Eclipse is flying. He got like 60 feet away, I think he said.
Yeah,
I heard.
Give or take like 30 off the ground. I'm staying within 60 feet of the bot to keep it hindered.
Yeah. And Alice, I assume that I haven't heard you flying or wanting to be in direct melee, so I think it's only going to be one of them if you wanted to get... And we have an artist among us, folks!
My intention was that I've never stopped flying since the previous scene. If you'd like me to be on the ground, I'm fine with that. But I am
You were flying while you were interrogating somebody?
That's true, sure. I wasn't interrogating, but that's true. I will be on the ground, that's fine. But yes, I'm a little ways out of the way, and that is a 31 from me.
So, Blip, you could teleport one of them out with a gate, I would say.
Celestial, since he's the closest.
Okay.
She likes me.
I got a 31 from Alice, and what did you end up with, Eclipse, on the reflex?
I had a 22. Oh, I needed to roll a dodge. Sorry, my total is. I just rolled a 9 plus my 9, 18 total.
Okay, so you are going to have to resist the full DC of 20. What are we doing? 27. And Alice, you only need to resist at a DC of 21 on a toughness check as this explodes on you guys. He resists his own explosion without a problem. Celestial, all of a sudden the ground disappears out from under you as you were hyperbagging the thing, and you fall through.
Wouldn't its explosion be hindered by the fact that there's a gravitational force pulling to the center of itself?
I'm going to say no on that.
I can't blame a guy for trying.
I don't blame you. One bit.
My total is 21.
21. Okay, so you're going to get bruised and dazed, which means you only get a standard action during your next round. Alice, how are you doing?
So I was waiting to tell you. I got a 23 on my fortitude, on my toughness after my dodge earlier. But
23. So you are just bruised.
okay.
So the explosion goes off. As Celestial's like, what is this thing made of? All of a sudden, it just blows up point blank on itself. The ground disappears out from under him. He slips away. Mistress Mysterio and Eclipse are both caught within the explosion and getting burned by it. Celestial, you are up with Blip right now. Eclipse, it is your action. You're in the driver's seat.
Well, this thing just kamikaze blew itself up, so there's pretty much nothing left.
No, it resisted the explosion without any issue.
Okay, well, I'm just going to continue my concentration to keep the tomb going, so it needs to make another save.
Okay, and what save is this?
Attempting to dodge to keep from getting piled under more of the stuff.
Oh, and is this the move object? Or an affliction?
It's a concentration cumulative affliction is my gravity tomb.
Okay, so what does it get to roll on at the end of its turn? Dodge?
It's dodge to avoid getting more stuff on it. It's strength to break free of anything that's on it.
Okay, he has a 33.
For the strength or stuff?
The strength.
Okay, well, that's going to break it free, but this is cumulative, so I'm just going to keep it going to keep it down.
Okay.
And my base DC from the pairing up with Mysterio was 22 plus whatever it was that she gave me again.
I gave you 5, so that's 27.
Woohoo!
Like I said, I got you higher than the cap you could give yourself, so.
And combined, we made it even higher.
Yep.
Okay.
We're just down the tunnel that Celestial made and off to the side, so we're not in the direct blast route.
You went into you bunkered down in a, oh gosh, I had the word for it, I lost it, never mind. Foxhole, there we go. That was the word I was looking for. You're in a foxhole.
Yes, exactly. Well, out of direct line of sight and have not cover, but no, have cover, not concealment.
Right.
All right. He once again just gets stuff piled onto him after breaking free on his round, and is still stuck in the same position. Blip.
Blip will point just down the hall that way, and she will go and in and out again. So 8 plus 16 for 26.
That's a hit.
DC 24.
DC 24. Blip once again smacks it, this time in the knee, and its leg starts to go out from under it. Let's see if Jacob can do anything on his round. Maybe it's weak to teleporters. Mistress Mysterio.
Okay. Well, I look at the robot and say, thanks, I needed a haircut. As I brush my hair back from that singe. And let's go with, I'm going to see if I can make Blip more effective or Celestial more effective. So I'm actually going to delay at the moment to, I'm going to ready for Blip's action to come out. And I'm going to try and aid her.
Okay, Celestial.
Okay, I was correct in seeing this thing had rocket boots?
Yes. Those rocket boots are firmly on the ground and not activated at the moment.
I am so sorry. I actually did mean Jacob. I flipped Blip and Celestial. Do you mind if I help Jacob? Because Jacob's the one that's having a lot of trouble beating this thing in. And he's also our strongest. Okay.
Well, that has yet to be proved right now.
I will take any help I can get at this moment.
Sure.
I'm not proud. I'm just hungry. Aye.
Okay, for Celestial's long-term plan, he is going to go in and attempt to disable this thing's rocket.
Okay, you're just going to go and try and break up the boots a bit?
Yeah, he's going to go in and smash the boots.
I love that you guys are piecemealing this thing. It's so awesome. Alright.
Called denial of assets.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to call my hat back to me, because this thing is no longer impeded by the anvil, right? He got himself out of it.
He is still impeded, but the anvil is off of him, yes.
Okay, so the anvil comes back to me and turns back into my top hat. And at that point, to aid Jacob, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hat trick to create object again. And this time, it seems like maybe Celestial just needs a bigger glove. So I am going to make Celestial 2 really big boxing gloves so that he cannot miss the target, and it's going to be nice gold boxing gloves, big heavy gold boxing gloves, because he's nice and strong, with white paint engraved on it, with the word Celestial on it on the sides, where the branding on the boxing gloves would be. So I'm going to hat trick that. So my hat flies out from my hand again, and it breaks into two pieces, the cloth wraps around your hands, Jacob, and they turn into pure gold. And it matches your outfit.
Okay.
So I should connect on that. I rolled a 12 on the die.
Okay, so what does that give you?
22.
Okay, so 22, so 27 after you get your +5.
Right.
So that's a +2, not a +5.
All right, so I'll have a +2 to my effect.
Yep.
Groovy. All right, then. I will smash me some rocket boots. Rolling 18, I will get a 26 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
Midas touch.
And that will be a 14 damage effect to the boots.
Okay, so... Okay. you run up and you bust the boots up. There they are. And similarly, you guys hear the pop fizz, and then the smoke start coming out of the boots. Okay. I think Alice just wants to play Green Lantern.
There is nothing wrong with Green Lantern.
At the moment, against this construct, this is what I'm down to. I have parlor tricks, that a magician does. I'm doing magician parlor tricks. But earlier, I got to do my other stuff. I was really hoping to turn it into a dog, though. That would have been fun. And then made it jump through fire hoops like I did with what's-his-face in another game.
You would need to slap effects objects on your transform.
Apparently I do. I really, really do. Maybe if I get the XP, or maybe, rebuild someday.
Question.
Yo.
On my mass transit, I want to... Does this thing look like it weighs more than 800 pounds?
Yes.
Okay. Is there extra effort or all out? Can I push the mass?
Yeah, you can go up by 1 on the category, so that's probably 1,600.
All right.
Pounds.
Would that cover this thing?
Let me check on... How much does growth increase their weight by, approximately? Do you remember, Jacob?
Doubles for each category.
Doubled for each category? Okay. So, yeah, you could probably teleport it with that.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Looks like a heavy thing, but... All right. Just skimming him real quick. All right. It raises the arm up and then out of the gauntlet area, a little thing comes out and fires a bola out at Jacob. And that is going to be a 20, I believe, on to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And then it is a dodge check, Jacob.
My dodge check totals a 22.
A 22. You sidestep the bola as it flies out at you, and it impacts the ground, leaving a small little crater in the asphalt that you guys are fighting at. And Eclipse, we are up to you.
Eclipse is going to continue to keep close enough to the thing to keep its movement hurt and maintain its concentration. So have another save, 27, please.
Gotcha. And it's 27 for his strength as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it is cumulative, so
yep.
unless he breaks free.
He did not break out, actually, this time. And he had a terrible roll on that, but had an excellent roll to resist, which means he only fails by 1 degree, but that brings him up to 3 degrees with cumulative.
As such, he is officially paralyzed.
Okay. Which effectively means that he is your bag to do with as you please for the moment. And so you guys can easily have him dismantled.
Oh, I didn't want to dismantle him. I just wanted to teleport him 60 miles up.
Now that his rocket boots were busted up.
Exactly. However, my next move would have had to have been teleport and stay. Then I can do the mass transit.
Oh, see, you should communicate that ahead of time, because when you teleport him up, I could increase gravity to make him fall even faster.
How heavy is this thing, Brandon?
Heavy. Do you have a scale?
I'm just wondering if she could even teleport it up.
Well, that was what I was asking about with the. I have 800 pounds I can move. Was going to go, I guess, either all out or extended effort, which would have brought me up to 1,600 pounds. He said I could move him with that.
Cool. Okay. Because sadly, like, I was looking at, increasing my teleport to take people. I'm like, it gets expensive if you want to be able to even carry a person. I mean, at my increase, I increased up to 200 pounds, which is three increases, increased mass twice. And I can't even teleport Brandon's real life person still.
Yep.
This is why you have to write up teleporters who do multiple different things as an array.
Yeah, that's what I did with Blip. She only has 4 things, 2 of which are teleports. One's is mass transit, which will move 800 pounds, 60 miles in 2 actions. And then her personal teleport, which is 4 miles, extends up to 1,000 in 2 moves, along with accurate, turnabout, change direction, change velocity.
Yeah, I have my 3 movements in an array also. And so I have 2 types of teleports and a flight that are in my mass transit array. But I've got a lot of points sunk into casting as a magical caster, so therefore I can't afford that much in movement.
Yeah, and for doing a teleport like that as an attack to remove people, I actually think that they're better off as a cumulative affliction, because it's that it's basically a rank 3 affliction that you're attempting to accomplish, and so that attacking them over the course of a few rounds to build up that teleport to get them out of the area, and you might be able to come up with minor effects of the lower levels based on when you teleport, a lot of times people are dazed and such like that. But you guys have him paralyzed. If you're Blip, you're actually next, and so you see this thing. It's just absolutely clogged up with stuff that Eclipse has piled onto it, and so if you do want to teleport it 6 miles up, you are welcome to do so.
Well, she has to get to it first. It was easy to open up a portal from her to Celestial, but she didn't want to do that. So she has to move up to it. She'll attack the bolus arm.
All right.
And would take that out.
Yeah, and you smack into it, and at that point, it's obvious that the thing is just absolutely frozen up. That it is been unable to vent its exhaust, and is going into an overheat, which has fried its electronic components.
Systems locked.
So either I vote at that point when we realize that, I call into comms. Either we get that really far from people, wherever you teleported it, or teleport it down to our danger room, please. Don't want people getting blown up with it.
No, she'd probably teleport it to over an open field or something, or a parking lot, an empty parking lot.
Awesome.
60 miles up.
Someplace that, huh?
60 miles
60
up.
miles up. Yeah. But over that.
That is the outer that is outside the atmosphere, so you know. That is in outer space.
It's a robot. It's not going to die. It's not like
No. The point is it won't
It won't
fall.
hurt people. Yeah, it won't.
Yeah, it will. At 60 miles, you'll fall.
Gravity's got enough of a pull, but
Yeah,
I have, first things first, needs a delta V of about 17,000 miles an hour at like 200 miles to stay out.
Yeah, because otherwise satellites wouldn't have the problems that they do on crash landing.
But burn up and such like that. But
Yeah.
yes, the thing is, it has been dealt with. You guys are all there.
Cool.
What are you guys up to at this point?
Looking
Where's
at the
the
light
general?
shows, it burns up an atmosphere.
I look around. Did it eat the general?
No, I took the general over there. He'll point.
I teleport over to the general at that point.
General Taylor's not there at the moment, but he's
Okay.
quickly working his way back. I'm getting water. I can still hear you guys.
Sure thing.
Someone secure our security camera footage of everything that just happened and get that to the prep.
Already did. I actually already sent Brandon a text in a separate thing saying that before my first action, I sent him a hangout message saying, I'm getting the footage.
Yeah, we want to let the press know that these robots act autonomously and violently.
Well, no, the easiest thing to say is they've been hacked.
Well, or just say that they are prone to malfunctioning. Whether it's a hack or not, they are unreliable and they don't have a conscience. So, unreliable, don't have a conscience. Whether it's a malicious hack or not, we can't rely on them.
True.
Because we can't prevent.
Basically, what you need to be is redesigned as a piloted vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Even if remote piloted, still needs a human behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's still the problem with that is that if it's a remote pilot, you have a tendency somebody can easily figure out where it's transmitting on.
It's hacked.
And it's hacked. If not hacked, jammed, which means it just kind of stands there. That's why I like, and that's why the Air Force still likes manned missions.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they're finding that remote control drones and such like that cause a disconnect in the psychology, so people are get a little more cuckoo, and it's just better to have the pilot in it.
Yeah, because he's there, he knows the risks. Oh,
Yeah,
also the robot had a delta V of 0.
I sent
Alice,
you a
I don't
hangout.
see.
Oh, oops.
No, you didn't.
No, it says that it failed to send. I think I was switching something at the time.
Convenient.
No, it failed to send. I'm sorry. But anyways.
So,
yeah.
What are you guys up to other than your discussions, securing video camera footage, stuff like that?
Well, if the general has vanished, there's not much we can do about him. We're pretty much going to get this information over to the press and let them know what happened.
And
go ahead.
while they work, Eclipse is going to check on
Check on what?
Groundhog.
Oh, okay. Groundhog is still in the facility. He is bound up with you guys. Ultanium's bindings, you know. And is just, you know, basically passed out again at this point after crying himself into submission, thanks to Mistress Mysterio. The General Taylor works his way back, actually, towards you guys. That's what he was doing when he was left Shanghai.
5 blocks away. He starts walking the 5 blocks while we fight.
Yep.
And when he goes up, tell him you're welcome.
He's like he comes up on the phone and you know, and he's like, well, you get people there, and then hangs up as he approaches the group of you.
General Taylor?
He looks at you guys and he's like, what on earth did you do to that?
We fixed it. It's much better as a paperweight.
Celestial looks up into the sky using his extended vision to check on it and where it is right now.
As it burns up and that, you know, that gravity compression starts to warp it and turn it into something else. It'll be back. How long, Celestial? How long, Blip? You'll have a nice paperweight for your desk.
At the rate it's falling, probably another half hour. I can go retrieve it from the ocean if you want.
And he looks at Mysteria and he's like, what did you do to make that finely commissioned, well-tuned government vehicle go rogue, begin attacking people?
General, I have a lot of respect for you, but the more you talk, the less respect I have. We didn't do anything. Your machine malfunctioned, was poorly programmed to begin with, and nearly killed your New York team of superheroes that have been spending their life, that have been putting their lives at risk to protect the city over and over again. And my patience with you is running short.
Do you see the destruction that's around us now? That was all your machine. We used pinpoint attacks on it, whereas it used missiles, explosions in a civilian area. Your machines are dangerous, and the way they are currently programmed, they do not take civilian safety into account.
Also,
this information is going to find its way to the press, and you will be held accountable.
Also, General Taylor, what exactly is scorched earth policy? Because it attempted to blow up our entire headquarters after saying that. Gave me a nice haircut. I luckily ducked for some cover. Oh, I believe, while New York isn't one of those stand your ground states, I think we do have the castle doctrine, and I think you are held accountable for our repairs as a result. It'll be nice not to have to pay for that this time.
Young miss, if you are through being snide, I am attempting to find a rectification.
I bust out laughing at that after he just accused us repeatedly.
No, he accused a mystic of something unexplained happened in the area, and he looked at the mystic for an explanation. That actually happens all the time.
Okay. Just so you know, General, my magic can't affect mechanicals. In fact, I was only able to help my team members with their abilities because I cannot affect your creature at all.
So you are saying that you are not dealing with this? That you are not what's made them go rogue?
Correct. I attempted to turn your thing into a dog, and it threw my magic off. I could not interact with it directly. I could create things that Eclipse could crush it with. I could create gloves to make Celestial hit it harder, but I couldn't interact with it by itself. Not all magic works the same way. I need life.
And Eclipse responds, why would we do anything to it to make it attack us and attempt to destroy our base? That makes no sense.
We never interacted with it in the first place. All of our questions were directed at you, and then it attacked us.
Well, it would seem like another method of ensuring that after contacting local authorities and having us respond, you decided not to follow those orders of the wishes of those local authorities. But if none of you are claiming any responsibility for this, and there will be an investigation on that, there is a problem on what has occurred with this. Why this government machine has done this.
Given
and he looks around.
Given my questioning of the poor soul in our holding facility, I believe that your program isn't on the up and up.
You may want to look at the people who your government commissioned to design these robots.
And you may also want to check your systems to see if you've been hacked.
And you guys are hearing sirens at this point.
So just to show that we are on the up and up, here is a copy of our security camera feed of the last hour, so you can see for yourself everything that happened. We are sharing this with the local press as
well. He takes it and he says, "Thank you for your gathered intelligence." The sirens and some military vehicles are rolling in, like I said, and he says, "You will be hearing from us regarding the situation, and thank you for your assistance at this time." So, Alice, I know, said about 4 hours. We're at 3.5 right now. That is not a bad bookend closure on it. If that's what people are good with.
So, anyone else want cake?
We can't hear you, Robert.
Want Disneyland?
I just beat up a giant robot. What are you going to do next? I'm going to Disneyland.
Anything else from anybody else? Okay. Well, then, thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Remember Journey Quest? Remember Jacob can draw you excellent things like math equals unhappy face if you pay him money for it. It's a beautiful thing. Prodigy Duck.
Yep. And
there is perhaps a better illustration that he has done. Yes. Maybe slightly better.
Well, then, everyone, we will see you next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.